And welcome out here to TIO Stadium at Waratah for the round 5 game between Wanderers and Waratahs. Both sides looking for a win, of course. This is the 2023-24 NTFL season. And I've got my fellow commentator Rob Cross with me to watch both sides strive for a win, Rob.
Great, lovely to see you. They've had a mixed bag, haven't they? We're looking at Tars, the reigning premiers, but they had a bye last week, but they're 1 out of 3 wins. Mind you, their 2 losses were very narrow ones.
Close ones.
Yeah, 1 to St Mary's by 3 points. Well, they led most of the game. They led to three-quarter time, got overrun in the last quarter, and we've seen St Mary's in recent weeks look very powerful, so that's not such a bad loss. And then they hit the front against Pine at Gardens a couple of weeks ago, and then conceded the last 2 goals and lost to Pine by a point. So their only win so far this year was at demolition of Southern Districts in round 1.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Oh, they looked impressive that night. And then, Wanderers, funny, aren't they, Gray? They won their first game over Palmerston by 29. They then lost to the Buffs, who have just beaten the Tiwi Bombers by 5 goals. So they lost by 17 points. Flogged by Nightcliff, who looked pretty strong, 57 points. And then last week, St Mary's really put them to the sword by 78.
Yes, and it's a big game for Wanderers. I spoke to Mark Motlop, who's now associated with Wanderers. He was saying it's up to the players themselves to pull the club off the ground. As you said, 2 big losses in a row isn't good, but they have got the names there, Rob. They've got players like Jackson East. He got 36 touches against St Mary's last week.
Yep. 36
touches, which is a great effort. Young Nathan Arbon, the vice-captain. Mitchell Taylor, Austin Smith is a very good ball getter as well. So they've definitely got the players. It's a matter of putting it together. And they're up against a Waratah side, of course, coming off back-to-back losses, which is pretty rare for a reigning premier. But they've got their captain, in fact, I thought it was Brodie Carroll, but they haven't got the big C next to it.
Yeah, they've changed it this year.
Pollis.
Yeah, Dylan's taken over the role.
Anthony Mankara, of course, we've all spoken about him, the former Essendon player. Jack O'Sullivan's back in the backman, and, of course, their ace fullback in O'Dwyer. So here we go with the first bounce, Rob.
Yeah, so a few changes for Waratah. Obviously a long way to go in the season, and we all know about the pre-Christmas and post-Christmas 2 seasons in the NTFL. So Darcy Hope not playing for Waratah tonight, their star forward. Maybe it'll create a bit of space for Anthony Mankara, who's had a bit of a mixed season so far, started the year off so well. As the first takeaway from the middle will come to Arbon of Wanderers, but the mark has been... Did he kick the wrong way then, or did I miss the player? Taken on the chest. Someone's confused. I'm not sure it's me or the players, but it's going to be a free kick right down in the goal square to Tars. And it'll also be a
bit confusing one at that start.
Very bright start. We might have an instant replay in a moment. I thought it was a kick in a blue jumper, but maybe my eyes are just settling into the bright sunshine. As the kick from directly in front from Jack O'Sullivan, and it's the opening goal inside the first 40 seconds, Gray, to Waratah.
And what a better way to start your first game of the season, Jack O'Sullivan from the goal square. And a very good start to Tars, but an unusual, whether Wanderers went backwards with the kick, we're not sure, but the end result, of course, is that Waratah lead by a goal.
And not only did they get the kick, but they also got 50-metre penalty for it as well. So that was a certainty for Jack O'Sullivan, who I'm pretty sure in the grand final last year played across the back line.
Yeah, well, I thought that was where he was going to start today, but of course Ryan Ayres has got his own ideas. So we're back in the middle of the ground, Rob.
Yeah, and back in the ruck, it'll be Daniel Fuller up against Arnold Kirby. Kirby's such an important player in their premiership season, which of course finished in March this year, with this season's played over the wet season. As a strong tackle laid in the middle. The kick has been squeezed out. Looks like O'Sullivan again. Good off to Cassidy. Here's the dangerous Mankara from 50 on the fly. It holds up in the breeze and drifts away to the right-hand side for a behind only. But 2 scoring shots inside 2 minutes. I think, Gray, we felt that Wanderers might be a bit of a show, and at the moment it's looking like it could be a bit of flogging.
Only early days, of course, but you're right. Waratah look up and about.
Cassidy back to Mankara from 70 at right half forward. Pokes a little kick. O'Sullivan again can't gather the ball cleanly this time. Arbon waits for the ball to come out there for Wanderers. Comes backwards to Joel Cabillo. He's pretty happy to see the boundary line. Magro's there pleading with the umpires for a deliberate. He won't get it.
Gee, having a look at the Waratah forward line, there's some height down there as compared to Wanderers. So a very small back line for the Eagles.
Mitchell Taylor, of course, but he's probably the only one, isn't he, Gray? We love him. Here's Mankara again. Loops the handball over the top here. Tyson McKenzie, 23, normally worn by Darcy Hope, but not playing today, is Braden McLean, one of a few very experienced Eagles players. Loops the handball over the top. Jackson East, we like him. Brenton Motlop will come in and lay the tackle. No, he can't because the mark has been taken, and so it's taken away by Nick Hoare. He centres the ball into the middle, finds Pulling. And Pulling is in the middle of TIO Stadium. Just the required distance. Cassidy's had a ton of it early. He sends it out to Kirby, and he's out at right half forward. 80 from goal. Normally pretty good user by foot, and that's no exception. He drills the pass down the throat of Scott Carlin.
Beautiful pass, one right on his chest, just above his chest, but an overhead mark, but well organised. And Waratahs, they went in there rather than blast away. He picked out Carlin, who of course won the medal in the Big Rivers League the season before last. From
45 metres, it's a wonky kick, isn't it? Won't even make the distance. On the bounce, the Wanderers defence gather it, and through Arbon again. Dishes off to a teammate, and that's good use of the footy out to Motlop. Motlop marks. It's Brenton. They switch play dangerously. Carroll's there, the former captain. Gathers the footy back to Cassidy. That's about touch number 5. He kicks it out to left half forward, crosses the 50-metre arc, and then goes back outside again. Lots of blue jumpers around the footy. Good defence. Magro goes in there. Shane Thorne might come up with the footy for Wanderers. He does, and he kicks the ball down the wing in front of the Morris Rigoli grandstand. On the bounce, Dylan Collis, the new captain of Waratah, has got a teammate to lend assistance, and Nick Hoare teams up well with him. Sends the ball inboard to Jack Gleeson. Lots of new names. Oh, geez, I reckon there's only, 8 or 9 players from last year's premiership side out there today for Waratah. Great.
No, you're on the money there, Rob. There's a lot of players to come back.
Here's the dangerous Mankara. He ran onto the ball from 50. Beautiful strike of the footy, and Mankara kicks the first of, I reckon, quite a few today. Great. He looks very dangerous.
He looks a good Sydney, and as you commentated earlier, he missed his first one, but he made no mistake that time, lined it up, had plenty of time, Rob, so the Wanderers backline must start manning up and putting some pressure on these Waratah guys, otherwise it might be a long day.
We'll just look at the pace there. I mean, granted, he was up against the big ruckman, but that time he did learn, Gray, because he punched it low into the breeze.
And well, that's the other thing, Rob. Waratahs are kicking into what looks about a 2-goal, maybe a 2-goal breeze. All the play has been down the Michael Long centre end. So
the scoreboard is actually 2-1-13 Waratah. Wanderers yet to score.
Haven't gone forward at all yet, Wanderers.
Who will that player to send them forward? Fuller up against Kirby again in ruck. Kirby holds his ground. Here's a chance for them to get it away. It's Marley King, and then he runs onto it. Up towards left half forward. Waratah gets there first. Oh, beautifully played though by King. Unlucky bounce for Waratah, and King from 50 on the 45 just misses to the left-hand side, but good bit of play from the middle.
It's a good bit of individual play then. Did it all by himself. Not many numbers around the ball though for Wanderers.
Nick Hoare has it at left half back, just inside defensive 50. Kicks in the Carlin direction. He's got a player further up the ground unmarked in Reynolds, or Booth it is in fact, Dom Booth. Now he's got Kirby streaming through the middle, the big man. He takes the mark. Handballs to Cassidy. Cassidy can run to 50. The short worm-burning pass into Magro bounces off his chest. He'll get it at ground level. Cassidy slides by. Magro on the left, kicks across the face of goal in towards the pocket. There's still a chance. Good team play on the bounce. Clark comes up with a footy. Handballs back to his teammate. Quick shot on goal here. Might have been a Waratah, I think. Won't quite have the carry. Off hands, dangerous. Kerenua gets there first. Shrugs the tackle. Was taken by the jumper, and the kick across the face, or it might have gone into the goalpost. It did. 4 behind. Waratah score again, Gray. 2-2 to no score.
The Waratah players everywhere then. Everywhere. They've got that hungry look about them, Rob.
They sure do. Mitchell Taylor, their skipper and one of their stars. Sends it back to the outer side, left back pocket. Over the top, it's got Jackson East. And there's the eastern side of the ground. Great.
East on east.
Inboard it comes. Clee. Now to half forward. No one to really kick to though, and a good defensive mark taken there by Hoare. He's been solid across half back. Into the skipper Dylan Collis. His brother Will He'll probably play as they close in on finals later in the season. I think he's played one game already this year, if not two. Kirby comes up with a footy. Off to Spence in the middle. It's all Tars at the moment, kicking against the breeze. Back to Kirby, about to be run down, but strong enough in the body not to be dragged down. Looking for Will Clark with Waratah across half forward. Cassidy comes up with it. Clever handball to Carlin. Carlin will pass the ball to the goal square, and a brilliant bit of play by Waratah and O'Sullivan. 15 metres out, 45-degree angle. Will shoot for their third.
It's almost like they're at training on Tuesday night. Waratahs are just chipping it around, running into space. And the Wanderers guys have been left standing with hands on hips, so they're going to have to lift, Rob. This game will get out of control pretty easily.
O'Sullivan for his second. He kicked the first one inside the first 40 seconds, and he likes it. Waratah have three. They're 3-2-20. Wanderers one behind 1 point.
Yes, Wanderers left chasing red jumpers at this stage. So I'm sure their skipper in Mitch Taylor will tell his guys they've got to start lifting, because this Waratah side has come out to play, using the ball beautifully. What does that make it, Rob? 3 goals to nothing.
Yeah, 3-2 to 1 behind, not even 10 minutes played.
Oh, well, 1 behind, they have scored the 1
yep.
behind. Yeah, that lovely run down the wing there from King.
Yep.
The Wanderers nearly resulted in the goal.
But they're coming off a couple of big defeats, and they're headed for another. I know it's early, but 57 2 weeks ago, 78 last week. Not just 78 points, Gray, but it was 39 scoring shots to 11. That scoreboard could have been anything, as the umpire will have to come in and have another go. So there's been a change in the ruck. Fuller having a rest. It's tossed up. Henry White up against Kirby this time. Off hands. Carroll's in there. Couldn't take it cleanly. Clever handball squeezed through traffic was better. East gave it off to a teammate. Chance over the top here for Wanderers, but Collis stands firm. But only as far as Braden McLean, who marks 60 from goal. McLean's kick is a 3-on-1 fly in the pack. 1 grab, 2 not paid. Off hands to the umpire. The snap on goal around the corner will carry just too far. And big Dano Dwyer for Waratah will take the mark. And that snap on goal was from Aidan Domick. So Tars from fullback to Pulling. To the wing to Carroll. Sullivan's floated down from full forward. Pulling runs onto it. Good exchange of handball down the outer side wing. Still going. Carroll. Magro, 1 grab, 2 grabs and takes it, and will play on to the trusty left boot from 45 metres out, and will miss away to the left and just scrapes in for a behind. A let off to the Wanderers. Tars could have had their fourth. They are 3-3 to 1 behind. They lead by 20.
Yes, Magro opted to play on when he probably should have, in hindsight, gone back and had a shot.
Clee. East. Morris Rioli grandstand side. A little bit of shade, bit of respite. White leaves the ball for Fuller to take the mark. Here's a chance. It's a 1-on-1 battle inside the forward 50. Collis makes good ground up against Motlop. They run back towards the goal square, and great defensive play by the Waratah skipper, paddling it through in front of his opponent there. In fact, it was Arbon, I think it was, who was in battle with Dylan Collis. Initially, it looked like the kick might come over the back, but Collis made such good ground, didn't he? Pushing back onto his...
He did very well.
The Wanderers player.
Yes, the new Waratah skipper, as you said.
Kenzie gave it to Clark. Kirby, look at him go. He almost kept it in. He made, what, 20 metres or so, got it up to the wing.
I was just going to say, he was running hard, the big fellow, and he's, I'll tell you what, his hands on hips and he takes some deep breaths. Young Arnie Kirby, not used to sprinting.
He's got to go and do the ruck work up against Henry White. Gets the tap to Carlin. King. Shane Thorne might get it back here. Gathered by Jesse Marshall. And then gets it off to a teammate in Jones Cabillo, who marks it centre half back. Back to Marshall. Kicks to the wing. Tough kick, but it might come off. Carries the pack, goes to Domick. He gets pushed to the ground by Waratah. Brock Reynolds Now Hutt, Carlin has plenty of time just to motion to the forwards leading up at him and hits a teammate in Mackenzie, but it slipped through his fingertips. The kick a little bit too high. Cassidy comes in and lays a strong tackle. No prior opportunity. We'll have a ball up at right half forward for Tars. 19-point leaders, 13 minutes gone, first quarter.
Yes, they look the goods, Waratah. They've been moving the ball very well. Some of their overhead marking just a little bit sloppy in this breeze.
Taylor over the top. No one to give it to. Carlin's a chance on the left boot. Well played by Taylor. Slaps it through for a rush behind. His only option. There are a couple of red jumpers sweating on it.
Yes, they were right there, weren't they?
So the kick in for Wanderers, and they bring it down the western side. Henry White takes a good mark. Pushed off Munkara. Kicks up towards half forward. Vacant forward line. There's no one inside forward 50. In fact, doesn't even make it that far. And Waratah's too good there for Motlop. That's Brenton Motlop. He gives it to Dan O'Dwyer, who I reckon in the last season or two has been the best fullback in the comp, Craig.
Thank you. Yeah, easily. A very, very good footballer. It's Daniel O'Dwyer. And Big Kirby's got it again, Rob in the middle.
Playing a terrific game. Goes in the Magro direction. Went up one-handed. Gets the crumb. He's a thumping kick. Goes the pass instead, and it's a beautifully weighted ball. If it's not a mark, it's a free kick. It has been paid the mark.
Yes, I was going to say mark and or free kick.
And it's Carroll. Superbly weighted ball. He had to sit on his opponent, pushing back on him. Carroll's strong grip, and his opponent had to take his eyes off the footy just at the end. So it was going to be one or the other. And Carroll will line up. Tricky shot, left footer, left forward pocket, 20 metres out. Worse than 45-degree angle. He'll come in to make it a 26-point lead if he kicks it. For his first goal of the afternoon, the former skipper, and he's just away to the left.
Another miss for Waratah. That's about the third or fourth in a row after a nice blazing start. Wanderers will be desperate to get on the board before quarter time, you would think.
Especially with that wind, Gray. It's pretty strong.
It's blowing up a bit. I said 2 goals at 5 minutes ago, Rob. I reckon it's creeping towards 3 now. It's blowing up, that's for sure.
Taylor sends it into the back pocket, looking for Thorne. A little wobbly kick. Thorne dances away from O'Sullivan. Goes backwards. 1 grab, 2 grab, almost 3. No mark paid. Take Spence. Pulling. He might get it back with the 1-2. Taps it to his own advantage. Thorne drags him down in a good tackle. Play on the call. More strong tackling by the Wanderers defence, and they might come away with it through Matthew Motlop. Mitchell Taylor's close to the line. Clever tap to Motlop. Back to Mitchell Taylor. They're working hard in the right back pocket. It's now outside defensive 50. Big fly from Henry White over the top. And the ball goes out of bounds before Dom Booth can gather.
Good signs for Wanderers, I guess, there, Rob. They were desperate in defence on that occasion. Tars had a couple of opportunities, but came up with zilch.
Kirby in front. Pulling. Dylan Collis. Chest mark dropped in the end. Thorne's got busy. Cassidy, Kirby. 2-on-1 here,
Well
and it's raffled and it's taken there. Mitchell Taylor apologised to Magro, clipped him over the ear just after Magro took the mark, but good play by Waratah, kicked it into the hot spot with purpose, and Magro, who's a goal-kicking machine, lines up for his first and the 4th for Waratah to extend the margin to 25 points at the 17-minute mark of the first quarter. The reigning premiers Waratah, mixed start to the season, but they're dominating Wanderers early. 4-4-28. Wanderers 3 binds, 3 points.
Yes, and the man who got the ball over there to Magro was big Arnie Kirby, the ruckman, who's having a day out. And Magro making no mistakes on about 20 metres. So, yeah, all intent too is with Waratahs. Wanderers finding it hard to get going on what looks, Rob, to be a swirly type of game with that wind.
Yeah, and the great credit to the camera work there and the capture of that replay, because the close-up, you saw the work of Kirby to squeeze that kick between 2 lunging Wanderers defenders and pinpointed his teammate in Magro.
Magro making no mistake on that occasion. That's his first? Yeah, it is.
Yep. 2 goals to Jack O'Sullivan, back in the team for his first game since the grand final last year. 1 to Munkara, a ripper on the run from 50. And Magro, that set shot from directly in front. So back in the middle, Fuller's back up against Kirby. Fuller leaps early, wins the tap. Kirby wins the ground ball, taps it to his teammate in Carroll, defensive side of the centre circles. On the bounce up towards half forward. Thorne working hard, tried to paddle the ball through to his teammate in Austin Smith. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. So just attacking side of the centre circle for Waratah. Good pace bursting through there was Saltalamakia. That's what I'm going to go with, Gray.
Yeah,
Saltalamakia.
That sounds good to me.
It's a free kick. Much needed one for Wanderers from fullback. Clark wrestling with his opponent, Davidson. Oh, a nice strong mark taken there by Thomas Boys. He's forced to hold, kicks it up to Motlop. Brenton Motlop marks on his chest inside the centre square. More promising move by Wanderers. Have they got a goal in them? The kick was a bit too tall. McLean's gone forward from the pocket. He'll dribble one. He'll dribble one. He'll kick a brilliant goal. He won't. It's just away to the left. It's on target early, Gray.
He did everything right, and Braden too. But as you said, he did a leg break instead of an off break, I think. And yeah, that's their 3rd or 4th behind for Wanderers.
Got 3rd on the scoreboard. So it's 4-5 to 3 behinds.
But here they come again.
Yeah. Henry White's doing a few nice things. Centering ball is good. And the mark is taken at centre half forward by Marley King. So he'll kick from about 48. He should go back with the breeze behind him and try and kick a goal with the use of this wind. If he can kick this one and maybe another, gives them some hope going into quarter time. King's been good. Just crosses 50. Plenty of distance. It swings from left to right and goes through for a much needed goal for Wanderers. Well played. 1-3-9. It's a 20-point ball game. Waratah 4-5-29.
Yes, as you said, just inside the 50. Thumping drop punt straight through. Exactly what they needed to get them going, hopefully.
It's been a pretty good number at Wanderers in the last few years. I'm pretty sure Sean Manor wore 28.
He did, Sean Manor.
Who many people are tipping he might get picked up in the draft coming up. He had an amazing VFL grand final. A losing team for Werribee. I think he kicked 5 or 6 goals, nearly 30 touches.
Right, he had an excellent year, so hopefully his name will come up. And remember, this is the AFL&T's coverage of the 2023-24 NTFL season. We're watching Waratahs and Wanderers at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Waratah, the reigning premier, 6th on the ladder. 1 win, 2 losses. Bye last week, and Wanderers 1 win, 3 losses there. An 8th spot coming into this game. So important match for both sides. And Wanderers looking a bit better in the last few minutes. Joel Cabillo marks at left half back. They're starting to find some space.
Just going to mention that word, Rob, space. That's what they're finding. One thing Wanderers have got is plenty of leg speed, so if they can find that space to go with it.
Had to bomb long this time. There was no one on the outer side. How White went up. Did he get knocked illegally? The umpire said play on, and through the arms there of the Wanderers player in Austin Smith. They send it back inside 50. It'll be a chance gone begging for Wanderers if it goes up the other end, because they did have a little bit of a sniff then. Clark on his back gets a kick away. It's ricocheting through the middle. Who's going to get the takeaway from this? Strong tackle on Saltalamakia. And there'll be a ball up. Just attacking side of centre for Wanderers.
They have definitely lifted the Eagles.
Kirby, clever tap on as far as east though. He sends it inside forward 50. Well wrestled there by, it was Domick who got Daniel O'Dwyer off the footy, and that's no mean feat. And then O'Dwyer with his brute force just pushed Henry White, the ruckman, over as if he was just a little rover. And there'll be a ball up in the left forward pocket for Wanderers. So impressive. And they snag a second one. They trail by 20 points. But the margin could be a lot more, Gray. Could easily be 6 or 7 goals.
That's all. Tars did miss a couple, but Wanderers have found their way back. They're just going to find that major opening now, Rob.
Making a contest. Big smash by Kirby into the path there of Clark. didn't get a favourable bounce. Jerome Motlop. And eventually it finds its way into the lap of Jesse Marshall. This might test him, although with the breeze, it'll be a show.
It'd be the same distance out as King when he kicked that last goal for Wanderers, but of course on a different angle. Important shot this, though, and then the shadows of quarter time.
Back-to-back goals. The first 4 went Waratah's way. Now Wanderers to bring the margin back to 14 points at the 23-minute mark of the first quarter. Runs around on a left boot from 47 across the face of goal and smashed through by the Waratah defence for a rush behind. So the margin is 19 points, 1-4 to 4-5.
Yes, they're starting to use the ball a lot better too, Wanderers. And picking out players in space. That's a crucial word in Aussie rules, isn't it?
There's plenty of space in the forward half of the ground here. All the players have pushed into the Wanderers half of the ground as that kick from the fence has gone out of bounds on the full. Maybe the breeze carried it out, but it'll be a Wanderers ball. No one really standing the mark, so it comes in pretty quickly towards the left forward pocket. O'Dwyer couldn't take the mark, but at ground level worked pretty hard. Got off to his teammate there in Gleeson. But Wanderers come up with the footy. Quick snap on goal. It's around the corner. No, just missed.
It was a lovely snap. It looked a goal for sure from here, but it's just missed. So they're doing all the attacking the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, great. It's good. Resurgence. I think that's 1-5 now. Is that right?
Yes, unfortunately. 5-1 would have been, 4-1 would have been a bit different to 1-4.
So it looks like Jack Gleeson will have to go and get his own footy. No, he's got a bit of help from the crowd now. And there is quarter time. Interesting quarter of footy. It's Waratah out of the blocks really, really fast. Kicked the first 4 goals of the first quarter, and then Wanderers staged a bit of a recovery and could have had a couple late in the term. They got 1. They've pegged the margin back to 19 points. Goal scorers Jack O'Sullivan 2, Anthony Munkara 1, and Jaden Magro 1.
And quarter time, as Rob said, here at TIO Stadium, Waratah 4-5-29 and Wanderers are 1-5-11. We'll be back very shortly at TIO Stadium.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
And welcome back to TIO Stadium, where we've got Waratahs playing Wanderers, the old rivals. The very first game of NT football, Rob, was played between these two clubs back in 1916. And right now, this game here, we've got Waratahs at 4-5-29, are leading the Wanderers at 1-5-11. Waratahs had the domination early in the first quarter, but Wanderers came back, Rob.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Wanderers, because they looked like they could have been in for a thumping. But Waratah, they're the premiers, of course. They've had a mixed bag in terms of team selection in the opening few rounds. We've seen players, for example, like Darcy Hope, who's played a couple of games, missing today, their star forward of last season. They've brought back Daniel O'Dwyer and Jack O'Sullivan, who were so good in last year's grand final win. They're back for their first games tonight. So I guess with a long way to go before the end of the year, they're just trying to get their best lineup right, work out their fly-ins, work out their points, juggle their team. And as in terms of Wanderers, they found the season start reasonably tough. Had a good win first up against Palmerston, close loss to the Buffaloes, who look like a reasonable side this year, but then heavy defeats to Nightcliff and St Mary's. Mind you, Nightcliff and St Mary's will go close to playing off in the grand final, I reckon.
They are very, very good, those two sides.
So the umpire holds the ball aloft to start the second quarter. 3 goals the difference. Waratah have the use of the breeze this quarter. Henry White, Kirby wins the tap. Ball up favoured him. McKenzie gives it to Cassidy. From 60, they're away again. Up goes O'Sullivan. One grab, couldn't take the second. He was dragged down. Carroll. In fact, no, that's O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan gets the handball back to Cassidy. And a quick snap-on goal was across the face. It was, in fact, Toby Hutt who came out on the lead. And he's now wringing his hand a little bit. But a behind to start the second quarter, great.
So immediately into attack, Waratahs, but they just have only one behind instead of the 6 they required.
That's how they started the first quarter, wasn't it? Jack O'Sullivan gold inside the first 40 seconds. That's a nice kick out from defence, marked by Sam Davidson. Kicks to East. Back to Davidson. Looping handball comes off the boot of White. Will it stay in? It does. Advantage there to Hoare of Waratah, but now there's a strong tackle laid. A gang of Eagles surround the Waratah player there in James Waratah, and there'll be a ball up. White and Kirby. Kirby holds off White and wins the tap with the left hand. Kick around the corner up towards half forward, running back to the flight. O'Sullivan couldn't complete the mark but dashes away, and then a centering ball is good. Hoare has got away from Taylor, couldn't quite take the mark. Taylor did superbly well to not infringe as he came running back onto the Waratah forward. Mops up at ground level, kicks a dangerous ball to Motlop. Arbon it is. Arbon marks out on the half-back flank.
Yes, right in front of the old scoreboard there, Rob.
Kicks it to Matthew Motlop, who wastes no time, and he'll flare it back out to the Morris Rioli grandstand side. He's got Jackson East. He's got a pretty good left foot, and he's got White in about 10 metres of space. He's a big man. He gets down and grabs the footy. Clark, he shrugs Clark. White's kick in towards the forward pocket on the bounce. Oh, clever trap there. Throwing a boot at it was the Waratah defender, and he was able to see the ball out of bounds before Braden McLean could run onto the footy.
Yes, Wanderers showed how they play their best football when they run and carry, and they're going to have to do that a little bit more in this quarter, I think.
It's interesting, isn't it, Gray? Like the breeze, the flags opposite us are blowing in the direction of the airport end, which Waratah are kicking, but you can score and can move it down to the Michael Long centre end. So, Carlin.
As I said, Rob, it's a swirling type of wind.
Yeah, I think you're right. Carroll, Carlin, Clark, all the C's.
Here they come, Waratahs, if you can pick it up.
McKenzie it is. Pulling. Oh, so much room. Runs to 40 metres. Alex Pulling pokes the ball over the top of Mitchell Taylor in the goal square and misses to the right. Missed opportunity.
So the scoreboard's starting to look a bit ugly for Waratahs. 4 goals, 7. So they've got, I think they've kicked 1-6 in their last 7 scoring shots. I'm sure Ryan Ayres and his coaching staff will be hoping that improves.
They're being reasonably accurate. 19-12 in round 1, 14-10 in round 2, 9-14 in round 3 wasn't great when they went down to Pint by a point in the bye last week. Quick snap on goal, they've got another behind.
So it's 1-7 they've kicked in the last 8 scoring shots. That was Magro, was it? Spinning out of a pack and on his trusted left foot, and he missed. Rob from about 25.
21 points the margin, 4 minutes into the second quarter. Mitchell Taylor will bring the ball back into play. He's going to kick in the direction of Arnold Kirby, which mightn't be the greatest move. Kirby got up, almost an arm chop, not seen by the umpire. Play on the call. Jack Gleeson was there to Cassidy. Out to Clark. He looked to go to Kirby, but steps back inside and got around Austin Smith. Handball from O'Sullivan to Kirby from 40 metres. Kirby tries to curve it even, and just is away to the right, out of bounds on the full.
Yes, Kirby's curve. I'm just looking at number 24 there, Jack O'Sullivan, isn't he?
Yep.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. He's got those long legs too, which forwards tend to have. Good forwards, I mean.
So we're just waiting on it. Footy to come back. There is one inside the field of play, but I don't think they like that one, so
I don't like that one.
I think some help from the fan on the hill.
Yes, so 4 goals, 8 Waratahs. I'm sure they'll be hoping that they can improve their accuracy a little bit.
Taylor had a lead from King, ignored that, goes to East. Hutt stands the mark. Goes inboard, dangerous, especially when the mark's dropped. The umpire blew the whistle expecting the mark to be taken, and then Arbon wins a free kick for a high tackle. Comes out to Jones Cabillo. Left half back to Motlop, that's Brenton Motlop. He marks on the wing. Sends it to centre half back. Back to Arbon. He's getting lots of touches, but not in a dangerous spot at all. Just across half back. Maintaining possession at least, Wanderers. Limiting the damage. As Arbon runs hard. The kick from Taylor wasn't great. Arbon left it for his teammate, and that's poor play by Wanderers. Comes to Magro. There are 4 red jumpers around the footy. Magro loops the handball to O'Sullivan, who now has 3. And that was poor defence, mucked up by Arbon and Taylor. Taylor just walks over and pats his teammate on the back, and there's a bit of a apology, or not, don't worry about it, mate, but really they were able to clear the footy. Arbon, you can just see on the replay there, Arbon left it for his teammate in Will James to come in and get it. They didn't come up with the best team play on that occasion, and it was turned over, and Magro had all the time in the world to loop a 25-metre handball over the top to Jack O'Sullivan. The long-legged one has his third. Gray.
Long-legged one, yeah. The man here looks like a goal kicker. Yeah, so they mucked that one up, Wanderers, in their back half. There's no doubt about that. Bit of confusion, and Magro took full advantage. And that breaks a sequence of behinds dropped for Waratahs.
Yeah, wouldn't want to miss that one.
No. I'm about 1 metre out.
So some patient defence by Wanderers, unfortunately, came unstuck. Look at Kirby, just holds his ground on Fuller and then smashes it 20 metres. Only as far as a Wanderer player, though. Jones Cabillo got it off to a teammate. And then the long kicker to Arbon, who's now gone to the half-forward flank. He's got Dylan Collis for company. And there's going to be a free kick. It might come off a boot. So out of bounds on the full.
Yes, unfortunate for Wanderers, but
Collis to Carlin. Carlin one-handed. He got away with that. He was able to get it at ground level. Comes into Carroll. Carroll marks inside the centre square. He goes to full forward. Up goes Hutt. Well spoiled away by Thorne. Oh, coming through strongly was Cassidy. Thorne's okay. Sorry, not Mitchell Taylor, I should say it was. Mitchell Taylor was the defender that spoiled it away strongly. Awkward bounce will favour O'Sullivan. Out at left half forward, 80 from goal. Lovely pass into Kirby. So maintaining possession across the half forward line. Kirby 70 from goal. Will thump it long. Won't quite get to Taylor. Karanua, did he take the mark? It was knocked away. Karanua might be another chance here. Motlop, Cassidy, taken down in a brute tackle by McMurray. And it's a sling tackle, I think the umpire has ruled, because it's going to be a free kick to Waratah directly in front. Yep, sling tackle to Magro.
Gee, unfortunate not to be paid a mark then, young Shane Karanua.
He took it and wanted to.
Right.
Yeah, he seemed to take it and wanted to play on straight away, so maybe it was touched. But
yeah, maybe it might be off the boot or something.
The Wanderers' defence still arguing the point. I think they felt it was a legitimate tackle on Magro. I think I might have called Cassidy, but it's Magro lining up for his second goal. The Waratah vice-captain. And this will hurt. The margin will go out to 33 points, you'd expect, from 30 metres directly in front. Goal umpire barely moves. Magro has 2. He joins Jack O'Sullivan as multiple goal scorers for the reigning premier.
Yes, well, there's most things right then. I wonder, as you said, and they're still questioning the umpire on that tackle. There's some explanations being done out there, but it's history now, boys. Time to get on with the Wanderers. Magro certainly made no mistake from, 25 or 30 metres out. The umpire's finished his explanations now, Rob. So
yeah, it was certainly, you could argue it was a slinging motion, but because he fell forward and had the ball to protect him, there was never any danger of his head hitting the ground. So, yeah, I think maybe ball up might have been the fairer result, but it's in the book. It's a goal to Waratah, and they lead by 33 points at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter. Carlin carves his way from the middle and kicks beautifully to O'Sullivan, got rid of his opponent, then dropped the mark. Had time to mop up. Gives it off to his teammate there in Booth. Who is he off? He stepped, I thought, just to the right. Umpire says he can hold his line and have a shot. At least kick it to the square. It's a very high kick. Coming out his hut. Karanua in front. Drops the chest mark in the end. And the Wanderers' defence just hacked the ball out towards the half-back flank. It's trapped there by Big Domick. Gets it over to White. Kirby chases him down. Well done, Big Arnold. He wasn't getting away as Domick. High kick, waiting under it is Dylan Collis. Oh, hit him on the nose, dropped the mark. Comes to Motlop. Bounces the ball end over end towards centre half back. And teaming Wells, Clark with O'Dwyer out to Collis. They're away here. Carroll runs onto it at half forward. He marks 70 from goal. Wastes no time. Spears the ball in the Magro direction on the bounce. Magro traps it. Keeps it inside. No, he doesn't. It goes out of bounds 30 around in the left forward pocket.
Gee, they're very well organised in the back half, Tars, aren't they? There's numbers around the ball. They use it very well. It's going to be very hard for Wanderers to kick a winning score, you would think. And, of course, they're a long way back now, Rob. They're 4 goals down, 4.5 goals. 5.5, sorry, yeah. So that's a long way back.
Sure is. Good strong tackling by O'Sullivan and by McMurray. Smith up to the wing. It's well controlled to Brenton Motlop. Dangerous kick, just had the carry. Numbers out there. Domick's been strong, running from one side of the ground to the other. Wanderers squeeze a score out here. Not the best kick in the world. Into a contest. Gleeson. And Thomas Boys gets wrapped up in that group of players, but at least it's in the forward line for Wanderers, who've conceded 2 goals this quarter. They've only scored 2 behinds themselves for the term as Kirby leaps high, slaps it backwards. Lots of players around the footy. Kirby comes in and lays a strong ball. Now, to me, that's not much different to the tackle at the other end.
Well, I was just going to say, what's the difference between that one and the free kick to Waratah's up the other end?
And this one will be a ball up. It's White and Kirby. Kirby wins another tap. Cassidy dived on the footy, but was able to squeeze it out.
Good intercept there by Wanderers.
Yeah, and they send it closer to goal. 2-on-1 battle. Clever little disguised push there. Almost created a path for a Wanderers player to come through. And O'Sullivan, though, offers a lead from the forward line out at left half back. And then moves it to Carlin in the middle. And Waratah are away again. Nice ball to McKenzie. McKenzie's got Magro, goes further than that. Hutt, one out, top of the square. With some holding going on. Umpire says play on. Hutt still battling and fighting hard with his opponent there in Joel Cabillo. And it goes out of bounds. Just looking for Anthony Moncaro, who's been quite. He's out there, but maybe he's just come off the bench, perhaps.
I'm off the bench a bit. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him since those early days when he kicked that goal.
Great goal on the run from 50.
The former Essendon listed player, but got delisted unfortunately a month or so ago, Rob.
Dwayne Karanua just running off the ground, having a rest. As it comes back in, it's a shallow throw. Will they call it back and have another? They will. Toby Hutt just sockers it off the ground back to the boundary umpire. Tough gig throwing into the teeth of the breeze there, Gray.
Yeah. Well,
here we go again. Yep, that'll do.
Better.
Hutt to the back of the pack. Magro read it superbly. That's surely almost a free kick.
There was Anthony Moncaro getting it out to Carroll.
Yep, Carroll in towards the pocket. Hutt centering ball. A superb play on the call, though. Taken by Magro. Shrug the tackle. Snap on goal. He's got 3. Well played, Waratah. You can't keep this man down, just needs half a chance, and he joins Jack O'Sullivan with 3 goals. Tars bring up the half century, 7-8-50, and Wanderers, who've been pretty good in general play this quarter, certainly much better than the first quarter, have nothing to show for it. They've kicked just 2 behinds, and the margin's blown out to 39.
But certainly, as we can see there on the replay, numbers around the ball, kicked the ball into the scoring zone, and there's Magro. He dropped the mark on the first instance, but recovered and kicked an easy goal. Yes, they're in a hungry-looking mood, as I said earlier in the call, Rob, and it's going to be very hard for Wanderers to get back into this.
Well, they finished off the second quarter full of running. They want to flick the switch now. They've got Marley King going into the middle. He had a good finish to the first quarter. East is in there as well, along with Arbon. So Kirby, who's rucking brilliantly, the double fister to Cassidy, over to Pulling, to Carlin.
Gone.
Oh, Saltalamacchio, he was gone. Brilliantly run down by Jerome Motloff from behind, and then Pulling wanted to go on with it, and there's going to be a bit of push and shove off the back of that. Bit of jumper pulling even. Cassidy came in to lend assistance. Wanderers bring it out towards the wing in front of the Morris Rioli grandstand. Mark's taken by Arbon, who's getting busy, starting to run into space.
He's worked his way into the game, hasn't he?
Marley King.
Arbon, the vice captain.
King's been good as well. But this, where do they go now? Just 15 metres.
And you see chipping around.
Joel Cabillo, he sends it out towards right half forward. Shane Thorne had front spot, had it knocked away. Handball comes back to Arbon. Teammate in support, working hard through the pack. That might be a high tackle. It will be against Cassidy. And the kick will go to Sam Davidson. He wastes no time at all. Kicks it in towards the pockets. And the mark's taken by Smith.
Nice pass there too by the young fellow.
Austin Smith.
They've mucked it up.
They sure have. Carlin for Tars. Carroll. And so Carroll finds Kirby. Kirby's everywhere. He sends it in towards centre half back. And they switch it all the way out to the outer side. Pulling was just put off by the Wanderers' fist there. Heavy bump coming in from O'Dwyer. Look at that big body being thrown around. Here's Keranua. Can he gather the footy? He can. He runs to 60. He spears the ball in. Oh, the mark just bounces off the hands of his teammate there in Spence, and it trickles over for a behind only. But he's exciting.
Only took an instant, didn't it, to transfer the football from the back pocket to the forward pocket. So lots of leg speed on the Waratah side.
Brute force. He's a menace, isn't he, Dan O'Dwyer? He lined up Motlop then. He's going to have a piece of him.
He was certainly after him.
McMurray. Oh, just had the stretch to take the mark there, did Jackson East. Gets it to Arbon. So on-ballers are working hard, trying to provide options for their players down the ground. Taken by Will James. He goes in the fuller direction. Clark was in front for Waratah. Clark comes up with the footy. Kirby's there to lay a tackle. Numbers with Tars. McKenzie gets it inside 50. Out comes Magro. Lots of blue jumpers around the footy this time. That's good defence. Could have gone back there to Mitchell Thorpe. Oh, McMurray was good. Rode the tackle, and then his kick out to a teammate. Missed the target.
Full, unfortunately, yeah. Yes, and don't forget you're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 23-24 NTFL season, live from TIO Stadium in Darwin, and we're on Larrakia Country, Rob.
Sure are. Alex Pulling, 80 out, left half forward. Carlin provides the lead, hits him on the chest. Magro short. Magro, well done by McMurray, the two number ones on each other. Handball comes over the top. McKenzie into Magro. Shrugs the tackle. Has he got his fourth? He's across the face. He's ever present, isn't he, in that forward line?
I'd like to see his stats. He's kicked 3. He's probably kicked, what, 4 or 5 behinds?
Yeah, at least 3 behinds, I reckon. Yep. Could have had a big afternoon out. But inaccuracy continues for the Tars. 7-10 plays 1-5.
And the Wanderers' defence under all sorts of pressure too.
Arbon marks between fullback and centre half back. Favouring that outer side again, although he looks back into Thorpe. To Thorpe to, I'll get that right in a sec.
That's out in the full as well, is it? Yep.
Mitchell Taylor, of course, it is. And the ball is out on the full. So not able to get it out of the danger zone. Collis into Carlin. Over his head. Relief for Wanderers. Another short pass. Comes into King. King can get it on there to Domick. Domick's kick was smothered. Bounces over the head there of Smith. It's a free kick. It's going to Waratah. Smith was just a bit too exuberant on Will Clark.
Held without it too, I think.
Up goes Kiranua, too tall for him. Hutt at the back of the pack. Tight angle, runs around, snap from 15 metres, and finally they get another goal. First goal for Toby Hutt for the afternoon, and it's an 8th goal for Waratah. 8-10-58 to 1-5-11.
As I said, Wanderers defence under a lot of pressure, and poor disposal there by Foot gave Waratahs another chance, and Hutt this time made no mistake with the old right foot over the shoulder trick. And they lead now, Rob, by, what is it, 45 points?
41 points.
8 goals, isn't it, they've got?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Yep.
So they've certainly scooted away. And you're right about Big Kirby, probably playing the game, well, not of his life, but certainly his best game for the season to date. Very underrated ruckman is Arnold Kirby.
And without rest, he's back in the middle again.
Yeah.
Wanderers have run at least 3 players through the middle. Fuller, White. I think there's been one other as well. This time maybe White won that one. Cassidy. Back to Collis. Clever underground kick to Carroll, who ran onto it. And then kicks to Carlin, who drops the chest mark. Good pressure from behind, but certainly had enough of it to normally complete the mark. Motlop soccers off the ground. Cassidy comes through, gathers superbly. Gave it to Carroll, who fumbles but has time to give it back to Carlin. So those 3 have been busy in that passage of play. Kicks in the Magro direction again. He's got McLean for company, and it's a hold going on, and it's going to Magro.
And the look on Braden McLean's face says it all, Rob. Absolutely amazed.
Such the concern about this man's ability. There might have just been a little hold in there. That's what the umpire said, at least.
Yes, and the umpire normally has the final say in those situations.
So Magro from 30 metres out, 45-degree angle, left forward pocket, and he's got his 4th, and Waratah have their 9th. The margin is now a dangerous 53 points.
He's 3rd for the quarter as well. Yes, it's hard to see where the answers are for Wanderers. They've got to start getting the ball out of the middle for a start, but down back they're under siege as a result of Waratah getting the ball out of the middle on a regular basis. Big Kirby dominating, of course, that helps, giving his on-ballers first use of the football. And they've scooted to a 53-point lead here.
Just looking at the goals so far in the season, Jackson Calder has 16. Prior to tonight, to this afternoon, it's 9, or is it 8? 9 goals to Magro. So he's starting to climb the goal-kicking list, and they have another go. And he might get another chance here. Comes off hands. He gathers, tries to handball to himself, but there are too many blue jumpers around him. Mitchell Taylor comes up with it for Wanderers. Kicks in towards the back pocket. McLean was there. He's taken to the ground without the foot. He must get a free kick, and does. So Braden McLean, the right back pocket.
Yes, Wanderers going to that scoreboard side, and of course with that swirling wind, it's carrying the ball close to or even over the boundary line.
Yeah. So what have we got? 5 goals to nothing this quarter. Comes in again. Carlin Munkara, Carlin. Wanderers burrow in after the footy. Handball comes out there from Sam Davidson. Maybe a late one here to Wanderers. Domick in front of Gleeson. Taps it back only the path of pulling. King taps it back to White. White around the corner. East sits under the footy. Dwyer stands, spoils, comes to ground to Collis. That's a throw. Surely that's a throw. Excellent camera work. Look at that zeroing in on the play from a million miles away, and you could see that clear infringement.
Magnificent work by the man with the camera.
As Cassidy had the ball stripped away. King comes in, scooped it up, then was stripped of the footy. Oh, dangerous tackle, yeah. Sling tackle or driving tackle into the turf there against Booth. And the free kick will go to Thomas Boys. So almost half time here. Wanderers would love a goal. They won't get it because the siren has sounded to end a first half that has been all the red and whites. Waratah lead at half time, 9-10-64 to Wanderers 1-5-11. Goal scorers 4 to Magro, 3 to O'Sullivan, and singles to Mankara and also Toby Hutt, and the 1 goal for Wanderers to Marley King.
This is TIO AFL&T's coverage of the 23-24 NTFL season. We're at TIO Stadium and we'll be back very shortly.
You are one of over 148,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you'll need a battery-operated radio, a torch with spare batteries, enough food, and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. All important documentation such as passports, treasured photos, and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season.
Buffaloes first.
He doesn't like the set shots as much as the play on. There he goes to Mitch Robinson. So Magpies absolutely not awake to that. And Mitch Robinson goes bang.
And
there's the first goal for the Darwin Buffaloes.
So this is his 3rd shot, Tash. He wouldn't want to make it 3 misses in a row.
He needs to go to the nearest goalpost this time. He's kicking with the breeze slightly behind him. And that time he's got it right. He kicks his first goal and they've got their second. There's Cook.
There's Marinka again, but he missed that one.
Yeah, no talk there. That's actually Ed Darcy, number 26.
Junior.
Edward Darcy, yep. Edmonds, empty goal square, and it goes through, and he's kicked his second. He is a goal-kicking midfielder. So good work, Lucas Edmonds. With a good tackle. McConnell gives it back to a teammate coming through. This is Bronher, and he's kicked the goal, so they've got their 4th. Good work, the Palmerston Magpies. So number 12, Alberto Bronher. So he's just talking to his cousin.
We're getting blocked by the match manager here, but now we can see.
The coach, and over the back here, and the Maggies should get another goal. Play on. The umpire says that's okay, and Bailey Young gets the reply and appealing for a free kick. The umpire says play on. You can hear the crowd getting involved now. It's right in front of that big grandstand. Ahmad Watkins, and he drills it. So he's kicked the Buffalo's 5th goal, but puts him in front by that goal. There's a hand to it at the back. Coming through there is Driscoll. Driscoll needs to get rid of the footy. Comes out the back. Otso kicks it, and he's kicked the goal for the Darwin Buffaloes. So John Otso kicks his first. But getting back in there is Coleman. Spearing ball, bounces just in front of Coco Nicky. Callum Groves tried to bring him to ground, and Stafford has his second. So Daniel Stafford has his second within a minute.
Terrific play.
Hand passes to Matheson. Matheson running through the corridor. Looks up. Puts it up to Daniel Stafford. Does it bounce kindly for him? It doesn't. He wheels around. He's a big fella, but good at ground level. Shovels it back to a teammate in Collinson. Collinson to Jared Stokes. Jared Stokes usually good from here, and he kicks it. Stokesy has his second. So Jared Stokes, the captain, over the back. Here's Marika, needs to take on his opponent. He does now. Got a bit of speed there again. The ball does not come back to him. It stays in the field of play. Young's got it. Young. Handballs to Churchy. Churchy handballs to a player all by himself in the goal square. Patolo will kick his second. That's 2 in a row for the Magpies. Well done to the Palmerston Magpies.
He's just
puts it out to space, 1-on-1, and a good mark. No, it comes to ground. A quick kick out off the ground, and he's kicked it. I reckon that's Ahmad Watkins. That's kicked his 4th tonight. Can give their hands to Edmonds. Edmonds can run to about 40 metres out. No one is coming at him. Bradley Stokes does now, and he kicks his 3rd. So Edmonds definitely in the top 3 votes.
In fact, he's kicked his 4th. That's his 4th goal.
Fourth. Yeah, it is his 4th, sorry. Yes, and he drops it at the last minute. Otso picks it up. Teammate Joey Collinson, Jared Stokes, and Ahmad Watkins goes back and kicks his 5th.
Well, he's come from the clouds, hasn't he, Ahmad Watkins? Unlike performance by the Buffaloes without being outstanding. There it is. It's all over here at Kazali's Arena, where the Darwin Buffaloes have retained their unbeaten record. 15-13-103 to the Magpies. The Palmerston Magpies 11-5-71.
That short pass was chopped off by Cameron Wild, and he sees something he likes in the pocket. The kick's good, close to the boundary line, but the kick was good, and Sing Lippo.
Last week, Tana Blackney Noda was really good back for the Tiwi Bombers. Shot on goal. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. Oh, wow.
Tristan Sing Lippo and his teammates get around. That's a fantastic set shot for goal. Won the ball for himself, and Nycliffe looking to chip it around the grandstand side, but chopped off there by poor Jimmy. Hand passed over the top. Here's a snapshot on goal, and it's a Tiwi goal. Early in the first quarter, a quick response was Kim Cantilla. It's Wines who delivers the ball to Darms. Hand passes across, and a long shot at goal. Looks pretty good. I think it's Politis, and straight through the middle for Nightcliffe's 3rd goal. So
got the Rising Star, the NT News Rising Star for last week, which he well deserved.
And Tiwi have worked this one well and got it to Paddy Heenan, who lurking at half forward, got on the end of it, but half smothered, but Butcher's still able to get it back to Emery. Goes long towards the 50. They've opened up the forward line here as Kennedy now gets on the end of it, runs in towards goal. It looks like it's swinging back. It does swing back.
Very late.
Yeah, timed it perfectly and just snuck it inside that left-hand goal post. And ball spills out to Philo now, just keeps it in play on the left foot. Babui in front, tries to tap it forward, it slips over the back, and now a long kick towards goal on the left foot by Rioli. That's a fantastic finish.
Back just off screen number of Tiwi players.
Buxton flicks it over the top, comes by hands.
Oh, that man, he's on fire.
And this time on the right foot. That's a good pass to Stanley Tipalura, who wheels around on the right foot, goes long towards the goal. Brown's working back there, so's Brendan Cantilla. A terrific mark, running with the flight of the ball under pressure.
Quickly, got over the back. Oh, just snuck that in. You and I both held our breath there.
Doing the tackling this time, and now drills the pass in, looking for Cameron Eilert. Gets forced to ground, and Moody at ground level has a shot for goal. He likes it. Snuck it inside that right-hand goal post. An open forward line, but it's Oh, it spills out the back now. Stanley Tipalura again. He's got Heenan running, ignores him, goes for goal himself. I think he's
nailed it.
He's made amends this time. But he did have Paddy Heenan running one past once again. But he's in trouble, gets a hand pass off to Politis. Politis high to the top of the goal square. Well, Rioli spilt the mark, and
there's his second.
At ground level, Philo just lapped that one up. Yeah, so it off and running out of defence. Zach Moody drills the ball forward. Oh, John Tipalura got his hands to it, but spilt the mark. It spills to Michael Mummery. He lays it across the outside of his boot, and easy as you like, kicks another goal. But no one able to control it now. They do. The kick comes in from big Tipalura, and the mark's taken in the goal square. Playing on and kicking the goal, I think it is. It's Lucas Conlon for Tiwi. So in the end, it's Nightcliff who've bounced back after that third quarter that Tiwi won, and Nightcliff kicked the first 6 goals of the quarter. Tiwi got one at the end, but a pretty impressive and probably dominant performance from Nightcliff in the end, Tash.
And we've seen it already, about 4 handballs. There goes another one. Here goes another one out wide. Brandon Rusker. He will kick now. Short little chip kick forward. And Rusker picks up Jake McQueen. McQueen was terrific and just nails one forward.
Up for Ross to take this shot.
Jonathan Ross, 45-degree angle, the right footer kicks, and he does it nicely. Doesn't he do that nicely? Jonathan Ross, and we've just been going less than a minute, and Ross has nailed one. Boundary umpire does toss the ball in. Big Matty Dennis in front, pretty much had everything. Bo Schwartz in the way. Thomas Motlop had a bit of the football. Thomas Motlop, was it touched? It was touched over the line, methinks. Thomas Motlop's nailed it. I shouldn't say that because he's just so dominant in the ruck. Matthew Dennis gets the ball out, waistcoat, gets it cleverly over his shoulder, kick on goal, and nailed it. Just see if you can pick that player up, Nick. Up they go. Jager Cockatoo, the chop out. McDonald beats him because of his height. And the pick up and the kick. And another one. That one we got came from pretty much nowhere. Everywhere you look, there's Southern Districts players. The handball back, runs inside forward 50, just inside forward 50, waistcoat in front. Did he get a first touch to it? No, over his head, and waistcoat's got his first goal. Well done to him. The defence of Southern Districts working overtime and a kick on goal, and I reckon he's nailed it. So that's a goal apiece, and that was would have been Stephen Motlop. Work overtime to Ethan Smith, and Jake McQueen laid off the quick handball, kicked in toward goal
and kicked it
and nailed it. The ball down. Anderson lays it off by hand. Bounce running through the middle. The man with the blue boots, Jake McQueen, can't kick a goal, but can he find a forward over the back? Running inside and kicking, grubbing it and rolling it through. Well done, Jonathan Ross. That's number 3 for him. But intercepting was the Pint player Benjamin Smythe. Haven't called him much, but running on Nakia Cockatoo has kicked a goal. So everyone's getting into the act. I think that might be his second goal to Rigney. Rigney to Cockatoo. Waistcoat rolls it through. That's his number 4.
3 goals in the final quarter.
Goodness me. Goal to finish this game off. Bennett goes inside forward 50. Man in front. Can't take the mark. Hung on to Matthew Mazzini. Southern Districts defence. Kicked off the ground and a goal. Handball once again. Inside by hand. Big Dennis. Runs to 50, spots Waistcoat, and Waistcoat now has the chance to get a handful. Waistcoat has 4. to kick on goal. Man on the mark, 40 metres from goal. Kicks and kicks truly. He does kick truly. He has 5, but 4 of those came in the last quarter. So that's it, the final score. Well done.
Yeah, 19-17, 131 to 5-14-34. 109-point win to Southern Districts.
Looking for a fun day out with your family or friends? Putt on over to Palmerston Mini Golf. With our beautifully landscaped course suitable for all ages, you'll have a blast playing mini golf here at Palmerston. We offer the perfect setting for kids' birthday parties, complete with special packages to make their day unforgettable. And if you're looking to have some fun with your mates, we have you covered too. Play during the day or under lights. We're open until 10 p.m.
And we'll see you around Palmerston Mini Golf.
Find us at the Palmerston Golf and Country Club.
Forward 50 for St Mary's. Running around is the former captain. Kicked on goal by the current captain, and I reckon he's nailed, is it?
Yep. Dylan Lant.
To score, far too far out to score, but kicks it inside forward 50, looking for the big fella, and he takes it comfortably without any problem at all. He casually leans around, gets it, sells the dummy, and St Mary's go for number 3.
Yeah, and an easy goal there to Will Brennan all alone. But the umpire says play on. White now wrapping up Dylan Lant, but manages to get the handball away. Wanderers pick it up. A quick snap there by Jackson East, high up and under to the Michael Long centre end, and it's a goal.
That game last week, I didn't give him best on the ground, but I gave him 2 votes last week. I think Jack Lant I gave 3 votes to last week.
Jack Lant has
kicks
just kicked
it long.
Goal.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it, said Jack Lant from about 55 metres. Thank you very much. Forward 50, can't take the mark. Ball comes out by hand, series of handballs, and it'll be the blonde-haired boy once again, and he's got the first goal of the second term. His chop out. Series of handballs, back they go, kick on goal, and it's East to kick on goal, and he's done it beautifully.
So the Muck-Mucks with 2 quick goals. Jackson East with his second of this game. The penalty? No? I have no idea what's going on.
Jack Lant running hard after the football. Mitchell Taylor in pursuit. Jack Lant swings around, and Jack Lant did what Jack Lant does and got his 4th. And once again, who kept running. Well done to him.
They haven't kicked it once. It was all handballs down,
and that's
a goal.
And it was a beautiful goal.
To the
Probably
Muck-Muck.
the goal of the year.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
by,
and it was Aidan Domick.
Grant, who just throws it literally on the boot.
Cleverly done, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a good mark by Joel Garner.
Joel Garner has it on the left foot, inside forward 50, looking for the big man, and the big man does not let him down.
For St Mary's, they've been a bit inaccurate today. Jackson Calder puts it on the right, and that one's gone straight through for his 3rd.
He had 2 to beat there, did Jackson Calder. St Mary's go inside forward 50, and thank you very much, Nate Paredes. Goes nicely, and Calder nails another one. So Jackson Calder has 4. They get the ball forward, but there's the bustling Jack Lant. Jack Lant bustles, but by gee, he's effective. And if he wants a game next week, brotherly love.
Yeah, they...
Here he goes, swings around onto his left foot. Sorry, Liz.
That's okay.
Dylan Lant swings around onto his left foot, and brotherly love worked to perfection that time.
grouping in the women's competition, so taking nothing away from St Mary's. They are looking good this season as Jackson Calder.
Glover was impressive and got it to Calder, as you said. Calder's got 6.
He's been down at Heidelberg in Victoria and now in Queensland as Jackson Calder runs in, puts it through for his 7th goal today. Jackson Calder for St Mary's.
Much further along, gets to Brenton Motlop. Motlop goes back to Anchors. Anchors outside to Austin Smith. Austin Smith kicks, rolls it and kicks a goal. Well done to him. He deserved that.
3 in the second, 4 in the third, and the siren has gone, and it is St Mary's who will record a massive win over Wanderers 18-20, 128 to Wanderers 8-3, 51.
And we're back here at TIO Stadium for the round 5 game between Wanderers and Waratahs. Magnificent day it is too, but it's not a magnificent day for Wanderers. My commentator next to me, Rob Cross, it's 9-10-64 to 1-5-11 in favour of Waratah.
Yeah, I think we hoped that it might have been a closer game, and the latter stages of the first quarter, Wanderers started to come back. They kicked the last goal, had a chance late in that first quarter, and they started the second quarter reasonably well. But then it was all Waratah, and the reigning premier kicked 5-5 to nothing, and the margin blew out from 18 points to what it is now 53 points. So playing for a bit of pride. But that man just to the right of screen, the number 36 in the red jumper, Arnold Kirby, has been one of the key reasons Waratah are so dominant in this game. Played in the premiership last season, and he's been terrific today.
Most unlikely looking ruckman you've ever seen, but gee, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's got a big engine, and he's rucked tirelessly for the whole first half. He stands his ground and beats Fuller to the tap that time. Arbon's taken in a tackle by guess who? Pulling on one side, and that man Kirby on the other. So he does it in the air, he does it at ground level, he's got good skills. And he wrestles his way to a nullified contest that time as a scrappy kick, maybe kick the turf instead as Motlop sweeps it out to East, and he pokes a kick just a bit too high. Here comes the dashing O'Dwyer. It wasn't O'Dwyer, in fact. I'll pick that player up in a moment, but he's got a teammate in McKenzie whose kick in the direction of Hutt is good play. Handball over the top to Cassidy. Watch out, Easter's coming hard. Gives it inboard to Pulling. Back to McKenzie. He juggles the footy, shrugs the tackle. This will be a terrific goal by McKenzie. Great way to start the third quarter. And Waratah kick off where they left off the first half. And again, around the 42nd mark, have put a score on the board. They go to 10-10 to 1-5.
Smart goal there from Tyson McKenzie too. He was grabbed by a couple of opponents, but found time to swing under his right book and hook it through, as we'll see on the replay as Magro gets hold of it. Not Magro, in fact, it's Cassidy. He's been very good too, Rob.
Yep.
And then he swings on his right foot here and hooks it through. It's a magnificent goal. One hand take, gets around his opponent onto the right foot and one sausage roll. So he'll be pleased with that, Mr. McKenzie. And so will Waratahs, who skip away now to a 59-point lead.
Yeah, last season and a few games this year we've been used to Darcy Hope in the 23 for Waratah. What a terrific player he is. Tattoos and very strong, robust, great skills, pretty tough, but today he's missing, and Tyson McKenzie has slipped into the 23 and done the jumper proud.
Yes, they've come out snarling from the first bounce, really, Waratahs. Back-to-back losses, and they look like they're going to stop that slide this afternoon.
Carlin held up as he tried to get the takeaway up to half forward. Kenzie again. Might have 2 in 20 seconds. He has. What a great goal that is. Oh, it's child's play out there. Tyson McKenzie has 2, and 2 minutes gone third quarter. Waratah have extended that halftime margin from 53 points to 65 points.
Well, that's what I was saying about the height they've got down there, Waratahs. They're certainly an undersized Wanderers defence, except, as you say, for Mitchell Taylor, but he was able to spin out of a pack again then and just run to an open goal. It's looking very dangerous.
Yeah, giving away quite a few centimetres there is Joel Cabillo on Tyson McKenzie. And the big centre half forward, who has worked hard in the first half, is now getting some value for his efforts with the first 2 goals of the third term. And worrying signs because they're kicking against the wind. A Waratah, but they're dominating proceedings. Kirby wins the tap and then smothers the forward thrust of the Wanderers and then lays a tackle. He does it all. And it's held up in the middle of TIO Stadium.
Yes, the umpires would have him marked down for top points in the Nichols medal count already, I would say. Rob?
He ripped that away, got the handball out, pulling. And running back with the flight there is Joel Cabillo. Kick to the wing, better by Wanderers. Who's he got those? He's got a kick to a contest all the time. Great strength by Dwyer, just got rid of Brenton Motlop and then took a wonderful mark. He gives it to Cassidy, who's been solid all game. Sends it right across the outer side on the bounce to Clark, who was good enough to get the half volley. He's taken down in a strong tackle. It was good by Boys. They still had the numbers, though, to get the ball away. Gleeson it was. Comes back to Gleeson. Pokes the kick to Clark. Clark at right half back for Waratah. Airport end. The left boot to Hutt. Point of the centre square. Still at right half back. Hutt's got a teammate on a long lead. Pulling. So they're being pretty patient. They've got a big lead. Short kick down the line. He's to McKenzie. So he's doing some hard running for a big forward. He's right on the boundary line. Outer wing. Centres inboard. Super kick to Pulling. Plays on straight away. Kicks in towards half forward. Out on a long lead comes O'Sullivan. Little kick over the top was good. Kirby runs onto the footy. Big Arnold bangs his first through for the afternoon, and much deserved as well. He floated forward, was an unmarked player inside 50, took the mark, played on, and Waratah have 3 goals in 5 minutes to start the third quarter and lead by 71 points.
Yes, he puts a seal on a fantastic game, does Big Arnie Kirby. The ball came over his head. He had to turn around and find where it was. But when he did, he knew he had an open goal in front of him and marks it there and goes bang. So, yes, it hasn't turned out well for Wanderers today. They've picked a quick side, a running side, and it hasn't worked against the strength and height, as I've mentioned a few times in this game, of Waratah. So what does that make it, Rob? They've skipped away to a 71-point lead, you said, yeah.
Yep.
12 goals to 1. Tells the story, doesn't it, really?
3 goals. They haven't scored at all since quarter time, Wanderers. And just off screen, Anthony Munkara is going down into the rooms as Kirby's having a field day. Overruns it this time, but a free kick's been picked out. Umpire's a bit confused. Initially signalled Waratah's way, but it is a Wanderers free kick. Dwyer went up early. The umpire let him get away with it. Running back onto the footy is Spence.
Handballing board a bit.
They're brave, aren't they? They've kept it in. Could have been quite entitled to take the ball out there or rush it through from behind. Looking for a high tackle. The umpire says yes. And a bit of a wrestle off the ball. Shane Thorne involved. So there will be a free kick and a chance for a goal here to Wanderers through Daniel Clee.
I was wondering about Anthony Munkara. We hadn't seen a lot of him out on the ground. And as you said, now he's gone down the room. So he must have a strain of some sort.
Yeah, he's moving okay, but in consultation with one of the trainers.
Yeah.
So Clee for the first Wanderers score since quarter time, and to bring the margin back to 65 points. Point blank range, kicks the goal. Wanderers have their second, Clee his first for the afternoon.
Bit of a sigh of relief there from the Wanderers bench, I would say. They must have thought they'd never kick another goal in this game, but yeah, certainly a few hands on hips and heads down. They're looking for answers, Rob.
Well, there's still plenty of time to get some respectability. They shouldn't throw it away completely. The game's done at 65 points, an absolute miracle especially the way Tars are playing. But if they can just slowly peg it back and, you know, make it a 6-7 goal loss.
Work their way back into it slowly, yeah. Yes, and that must be the aim, surely, from now. Because another blowout won't do the club any good at all.
Kirby standing right close to that middle line and just holding his ground. Beautiful tap down the throat of his teammate in Booth. Inside forward 50. Dwayne Kerenua comes in and lays a strong tackle. He's still got his opponent wrapped up. Will he get a free kick? I don't think he had prior opportunity. And so there'll be a ball up 45 metres out from Tars' goal. Looking for the quick response. Kicked the first 3 goals of the third quarter. That last one there to Wanderers. Just their second of the afternoon. It's King. Now it comes to McLean. Experienced player. To Clee. He stops and props and is taken out of bounds by Nick Hoare. Just had nothing to go to, did he? It's sort of...
No, he was... he didn't have all that many options. In fact, he had no options at all in the end. Which, you know, that's what the Waratah defence has done all day, Rob. And here's the man again.
He gave it to Collis. And we speak of big Arnold Kirby, who just ripped it out of the contest. There's McKenzie. Tried to corral Marshall there. Marshall kept it in. Where they go now?
Yes. Here's another player. In fact, he kicked in the man of the mark in the end.
Yep. McKenzie. Out towards Hutt. Marshall with him. Back to McKenzie to Cassidy. Runs inside 50. Centering ball is brilliant. And a mark has been taken by Sotolamacchia.
Unopposed as well.
Directly in front. 30 metres out for his first goal of the afternoon. And to become the 7th Waratah player to kick a goal.
Yes. Well spotted then by the Waratah player, who's chipped it over very nicely to, and got to be careful here, Sotolamacchia. Joshua.
From directly in front, about 30 metres out. 71-point lead again. Comes in. I think it's away to the right-hand side. Oh, there's a chance for O'Sullivan. He came charging out. He almost marked it, or he at least kept it in the field of play, but it had just crossed the line for a behind.
Looked like he kicked that ball off his toe, Rob, in the end.
Yeah, not a great strike, was it? So the margin now is 66. Comes out to East.
Another intercept by the big fellow Kirby.
Tapped along at ground level. Carroll, Kirby. He's got lots of blue jumpers around him, all about half his size. It's like Gulliver and the Lilliputians.
Very, very similar, isn't it?
Strong tackle on Preston Patrick. And he's at the bottom of the pack. It'll be a ball up between wing and half forward. Wanderers just into attack. White up against Kirby. Kirby from behind spikes it forward. Look at this, 3 jumpers onto 1 blue. It's Shane Thorne though, and he's a pretty good player. He holds his ground. Now he falls over. Collis goes to ground as well, over the shoulder, and it's going to be a free kick to Tars. It's going to their skipper Dylan Collis, but Thorne had 3 Waratah's defenders to beat, and it was just too tricky.
It's been a numbers game all day, isn't it, really? I mean, I'm not talking about the scoreboard, but every time the Wanderers get the ball, they're confronted by 2 or 3 opposition players at least.
Turned over. That's unusual for Dylan Collis. He's kicked it straight down the throat of Austin Smith. His pass was appalling though on the bounce, and it's been taken away here by Wanderers through Darcy Reid. Waratah, I should say. Darcy Reid. Carlin has it now. Out to Pulling, who's had a pretty solid afternoon. All the way to Carroll, but running back of a flight courageously was Joel Cabillo, and that's a bit of a positive for Wanderers. He marks it left half back and moves it in the Braden McLean direction. Play on's the call. He kicked from over the boundary line, was allowed to do so. Will James was there, but he was confronted, and the ball goes out of bounds 60 metres around from the Wanderers' goal. 12 minutes gone in the third quarter. It's a 65-point lead. 66-point lead, I think it should be. 12-11 to 2-5. Fuller and Kirby. Fuller wins a tap. Finally, Kirby's beaten in a ruck contest. And Wanderers go up towards the goal square. Thorne pushing and shoving. He's got a couple of defenders to beat. The boundary line wins out. Left forward pocket, there'll be a boundary throw in.
Yes, the reigning premier in control. And they would have noted the big score down at Fred's Pass there too, Rob, where Southern Districts are well in control of their game against Palmerston.
Trying to barge through the pack there. Now Smith has a quick snap. His kick was smothered. Comes to Patrick. Done a couple of nice things. His kick smothered. Smith back to McLean on the left boot from 40 metres. It's got the carry. It had the carry, but not the accuracy. Through for another score at least. Their second since quarter time. They go to 2-6 to 12-11. Ball comes into Brock Reynolds, who marks in front of Thorne. Carroll slides by to receive after doing the kicking in. Kicks to Carlin, who slides into the chest mark. To Cassidy, who stretches and marks.
Yes, he's been very, very good too, this guy.
Kicks in the half-forward direction. Good to see Mankara back on the ground. He's got the footy, shrugs the tackle easily, has a bounce, wants his right boot, gets it back to Cassidy. He's about to be charged down. He kicks in towards centre half-forward. Wanderers defence come charging out. Clear the line to Clee. Clee throws it on the boot quickly. He spills the chest mark. Coming over the top of him there was Spence. Patrick. Paddled along by Waratah. Dylan Collis was excellent. He kicks in the Carlin direction to Cassidy. Cassidy pokes a kick up towards full forward over the back of the pack. Hutt runs onto it and overruns it, but Magro is there. He picks it up. Jaden Magro is taken down in a tackle. Ball stripped. Play on the call. Back to Magro. Throws it on the boot. Has it smothered, and it trickles away to the right for a behind only. Magro stays on 4 goals.
Almost a comedy of errors there, wasn't it? As the players kept fumbling and dropping, and finally they got a point. Certainly enough opportunity there for Waratah to score another one.
So they're holding things at the moment, Wanderers, but trailing by a lot. 2-6, I think it's 12-12. Arbon to Marshall. Ball comes back inboard to Marshall. Inside defensive 50. Mock a long centre end. Oh, Magro's got him. He took a long time to get the handball away. The umpire gave him benefit of the doubt. Jones Cabillo.
Gee, the handball happy now. Wanderers trying to get something going.
Davidson was involved.
There's about 8 handballs involved there in a very small area.
Yeah, finally some space. King has it. He sends it into the middle in the Fuller direction. Fuller marks, look to play on, then kicks up towards centre half forward. Ever reliable Dylan Collis is the sweeper at the back of the pack for Waratah. Can kick beautifully on both feet, and this time his right boot finds his teammate there in Tom Spence. Into Brock Reynolds. Good use of the footy again. Darcy Reid has it. Back inboard to Collis. Kirby points for him to go further down the line because he's got a man all alone about 20 metres down the line. Gleason's run down in a tackle, and Clee will win a free kick. And careful you don't give away 50. Clee was playing for it. He doesn't waste any time, gives it to East. Brenton Motlop marks 60 from goal. They all flood into the 50 because he had no one to kick it to. In the end, he has to send it a little pass to Patrick, who overruns the footy. Domick is the only player there for Wanderers at the moment. Gets some assistance now. Beautifully scooped up by Patrick, but he's taken into tackle by Collis, and the handball missed its target. So Collis has saved a potential goal there with that tackle. On the bounce to Cassidy, wheels away from the would-be tackler, and he kicks up towards half forward. Dwayne Karanua's there. Should have his opponent, Jones Cabillo, for pace. O'Sullivan comes in to help out for Waratah. His bouncing ball to Mankara. Overruns the footy, had 2 to beat and couldn't do it. Arbon for Wanderers. Sweeps it to Marshall at centre half back. And the ball comes out towards the wing. Back inboard on the bounce to Arbon. Oh, the kicking is just letting them down.
It is, isn't it, Rob?
Half chances there, but the skills, the polish missing. Here's a chance for Karanua and or Magro. Karanua left it for Magro. Magro's 45 outs. He has a bounce away from Jones Cabillo. He's got Mankara in the right forward pocket. The kick Un-Magro-like, but Munkara has time. He's mercurial. He goes for goal. The check side kick is in the direction of Karanua, who marks on his chest, 20 out.
Oh dear, many opportunities there for Waratahs, and they finally come up with a mark to Karanua, who's hurt himself by the look of it.
He's lying on the ground, throwing himself around. It's hard to see what happened there. It was just... didn't seem to be anything untoward from the Wanderers player. No one's remonstrating with any Wanderers players, so whether it's some sort of cramp or something. It's great of Magro to come in and help him up. Maybe some sort of leg injury. He rolled an ankle when he landed, potentially.
Yes.
He looks in quite a bit of discomfort. Here's the Munkara effort. He seemed to go for goal here. He waited here, went for the check side. Didn't hit it correctly. It was a high ball. Came in, and then we'll see Karanua. We just don't quite see what happened then. Does he clutch at anything? He's be throwing his arms around, so it's a bit confusing. He's being lifted off with no weight on either leg, really. So maybe there's a lower leg injury, Gray.
An ankle or something like that, yeah. But of course, the man who's come up with a shot for goal is Arnold Kirby. Haven't we mentioned his name a few times this afternoon?
Yeah, he's been great, and he's lining up for his second goal. He's second of the quarter.
Yes, and young Shane Karanua being carried off now, so yes, you're right, it must be an ankle or a... don't think it's a knee, I think you're right, I think it's a lower leg. Maybe even a calf.
Yeah, he seems to... Achilles, maybe? Seems to be his lower right leg he seems to be clutching at. He's being chaired off by a trainer and a runner from the Waratah Footy Club, but unable to put any weight on his leg. In fact, Toby Hutt has come in to take the kick, and Hutt kicks his second goal. He kicked one in the second quarter, and so Waratah do get another one. They're 13-12-90. They now lead by 72 points, 2-6-18.
Yeah, so the end of a unusual sequence, a chipped pass there from Anthony Munkara, an awkward mark by Karanua, who hurt himself in the process, and the resultant kick taken by Toby Hutt. So the lead now stretched to 65 points. In fact, no, it must be more than that, must be 71. So certainly well in control, Waratah, on this lovely afternoon in Darwin town. Well, lovely afternoon for the red and white fans, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the happy contingent up there. The women are playing next up against the Wanderers women. Waratah, one of the top sides in the women's competition. Unfortunately, the Wanderers women have had a tough year so far. As away goes Carlin. Out of the middle. Hutt might have got a push in the back then. Play on the call. Munkara spinning out of the pack. Couldn't take the footy with him. Comes to Domick of the Wanderers. To Thorne. Thorne on the outer wing. Oh, wonderful left boot. How good's that kick to East? To centre half forward, that's Mercurial. Inboarder comes to White. He's got a bit of space. He runs to 50, pokes a little kick over the top, and Patrick, who's looked good in this quarter. He's showing a bit, Preston Patrick.
He has found the ball, hasn't he, a couple of times? And he'll shoot for goal from what, about 35?
Yeah. Of course, the great Liam Patrick had Wanderers links. I'm not sure if there's any relation.
Yes, the man from Larger Manu.
Yeah.
The great Liam Patrick had to run with the Gold Coast Sun for a while.
So this is Preston Patrick for Wanderers' third goal, but he's shown something in this quarter particularly. 35 metres out. He's pushed it away to the right from behind only. There's a bit of a stop-start approach.
So I can fix up the margin now. It's actually 71 points. 13-12 to 2-7. The scoreboard's a bit slow catching up, but we're right now, Rob. We're into it.
Dan O'Dwyer to the ruckman Kirby, to Saltalamakia into the middle to Munkara, shrugs the tackle, away goes Anthony Munkara with a bounce, and then look at that pass down the throat of Magro. Gee, that was good.
Brilliant football.
It was about 1.5 meters off the ground for about 40 metres.
That's why Essendon was so interested in him, Rob. And they got him down to Melbourne, but maybe a little bit early, maybe a couple more seasons up here and back to Melbourne.
That was exquisite, wasn't it? This is a famous name in VFL, AFL footy too, Magro.
Another one, yes. Stan Magro, of course, to play for Collingwood.
For his 5th goal, and not his best effort. He's across the face, plenty of distance on it, but a behind only, so I don't know what, maybe 4 or 5 behinds. I haven't been keeping tally of his behinds, just his goals. He's got 4 of those.
4-5 I've got.
You've got 4-5,
so
yeah.
he would have kicked 9, yeah. Just getting back to the Magro name, Stan Magro, of course, played at Collingwood in the late 70s, early 80s. I wonder, he must be a relation, because he is from Perth, of course.
Yep. I think he's an uncle.
Jaden, yeah.
Austin Smith got it off to a teammate, and the Wanderers will go up towards the wing. And at the back of the pack, though, the numbers favouring Tars. Nick Hoare came in and took the mark. He sends it to centre half forward. Well read there by Domick. Domick back to Smith. Smith's kick up towards centre half forward, but O'Dwyer standing there like a colossus marks at centre half back. And then kicks in the Cassidy direction. He'll get it on the bounce before White can come and tackle him. Now to Carlin. They've got players everywhere. Inboard it comes and hits the chest of guess who?
Guess who? I was just going to say, guess who?
Jaden Magro.
Now, can he make this one count, Rob? He's on the right side for a left footer.
He'd be disappointed with his kicking so far, I reckon. So I'll back him in this time for goal number 5.
Put the commentator's curse on him?
Yep. 24 minutes gone to extend the margin to 78 points. Comes in from 40 metres out.
No problem. Look at it.
Never looked like missing. Magro has 5. And Waratah scoot along to a huge lead. 14-13-97 to Wanderers 2-7-19. It's 78 points in the ball game.
Yes, they're doing what good sides are supposed to do against teams a bit further down the ladder. And that's play very well and, you know, kick big scores. The use of the football all day has been good, Rob, as compared to Wanderers' disposal. You mentioned early, about 5 minutes before that, that their foot passing was pretty ordinary, Wanderers, but gee, it's the opposite for Waratahs, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been really good, and they've been consistent. 4 goals in the first quarter, 5 in the second, and 5 so far in the third. There'll be a little bit longer to go, I think, a minute or so, because of the injury to Dwayne Karanua about 5 minutes ago. He appeared to have a lower leg injury. McKenzie comes up with it again. He pokes the kick beautifully to Hutt, who marks in the right forward pocket. So straight from the centre bounce, Waratah go forward, and Toby Hutt has a chance to kick his 3rd goal.
And as he lines up, just a reminder, this is AFL&T's coverage of the 23-24 NTFL season. And we're watching Waratahs and Wanderers at TIO Stadium in Darwin.
So another one of these tall players that Waratah have, and they've just been too tall today on a dry Darwin afternoon. It's hot and sweaty, but the height is killing Wanderers, and Hutt kicks his 3rd. 1 in the second, 2 in the 3rd quarter. And the Tars have brought up the ton. 15-13, 103. The margin is 84 points. 14 goals is the lead. 2-7-19 Wanderers.
Yes, this was a game they really had to win, Waratahs, to get the season back on track in some ways. And they've certainly done it. Kicking, what is it now? 15 goals to 2.
Yeah.
And finding space up the forward again, Rob. There's plenty of space there. They come again.
Sure do. Carlin, who's been terrific. Magro marks on his chest just before the siren blows.
Did he beat the siren?
He did, I reckon by half a second. So he'll line up for goal number 6, but that was so easy out of the middle. And I think the coaching staff will be pretty disappointed in Wanderers finishing this quarter. You would have expected them to show some sort of fight, but the last couple of takeaways from the middle has just been training drill stuff. Magro from 45 from the left-hand side this time. Did he learn his lesson? Oh, he's hooked it again, and yet another behind is up to number 6, Gray.
But he has equalised here, 5 goals, 6.
5 goals, 6. So at 3-quarter time, it is Waratah, the reigning premier in the NTFL Premier Men's Competition. 15-14, 104 to Wanderers 2-7-19. 5 goals to Magro, 3 to Hutt, 3 to O'Sullivan, 2 to McKenzie, both in that quarter, singles to Munkara and also Kirby. And for Wanderers, there 2 goals, Clee and King.
And we'll be back at TIO Stadium after a short break.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
And welcome back to TIO Stadium for the last quarter of the Wanderers Waratah Round 5 clash in the 23-24 season. And Rob, it's been a good day, my fellow commentator Rob Cross. It's been a good day for Waratah, but not such a good day for Wanderers.
Yeah, we had a little bit of hope at the start, but Waratah have just built every quarter, and it's been disappointing for Wanderers. We had hoped that they might put up a bit more of a fight, but particularly in the last couple of minutes of that third quarter, some really easy takeaways from the middle. What can they do in the last 25 minutes or so? Let's hope they can put up some sort of fight, because it's heading towards a triple-figure defeat. Let's hope that they can put a few goals on and make it a more manageable loss around the 70-point mark. It's 15-14 to 2-7 as we start the last quarter, and they get the first takeaway out of the middle. Carlin flew high. It's taken away by Gleeson of Waratah to half-forward Mankara. What's he got for us in the last quarter? He's 60 out. Little chip kick on the bounce to Carroll. Got it on the half volley. Steps around Jones-Cabillo and hits Carlin on the chest. 35 out, 45-degree angle. Great skills, Tars.
Waratah's obviously looking for more goals.
Well, Gray, this is extraordinary. This is the fourth quarter of the game where they will have a shot on goal. It's going to tick over the 40-second mark, but around the 40-second mark, they have had a shot in each quarter. Hasn't always been a goal, but they started inside the match, inside 40 seconds with a goal from a 50-metre penalty. And in the last quarter, at around the 40-second mark, they get a goal to Carlin, his first of the afternoon, and the margin is going out to 91 points.
Yes, it's a well-deserved lead too. They've certainly played very good football, used the ball very well, run into space, done all the things that you're supposed to do. This is the side, the reigning premier, wanting to get back on the winning track, Rob, and they've done it in no uncertain manner.
7 goal scorers now. Magro leads the way with 5, 3 each to Hutt and O'Sullivan, 2 to Mackenzie. Carlin, his first goal, joining Mankara and Kirby. It's a nice sign from Anthony Mankara. He was quiet through the second term, went off and seemed to have some sort of injury. It was hard to work out what it was. He was moving okay, but went into the rooms. But we've seen him come up with some beautiful skill in the third quarter, and again just then, such a smooth mover. As it'll be thrown up in the middle, Thorne's gone into the centre for Wanderers. Kirby continues to ruck. He's tireless.
And win tap-outs as well.
He won the tap-out again. East sends it forward. Collis falls over. Handball comes backwards. Little kick is intercepted. Well read there once again by Gleeson. He's done some nice things today. Gets it to the wing to Carlin, who's been really busy. He'd be in their top 3 or 4, I reckon, as well. What do you think, Great?
Yeah, top 3. I like the game number 7 there.
Yeah, Cassidy.
Cassidy's been very good, and of course, best on ground by a mile is
Carroll. White went up, and he'll win a free kick for a push.
But really, Rob, you look at the Waratah side, it's hard to find an ordinary player.
Yep. White.
Very even performance.
Waratah in front. Opposite number 11 spoiled in Fuller, but the umpire said it was a mark, and so Waratah goes back. And he'll kick from 70 metres out. He's got players running everywhere, which is in contrast to what happens when Wanderers go forward. There's hardly any targets. And Kirby all alone. Oh, the kick was just too high for him. Comes to Mankara, bounces it through. No, hits the goal post. Halfway up on the bounce for a behind. Shakes his head, big smile. And the Tars get another behind. The margin is now 92.
There's no doubt about these two Islanders. Everything that they do seems to be spectacular, whether they get a goal or they miss one.
Yep.
All the skills in the world.
So who he's kicking it to here? It's poor old Fuller's going after the footy. It bounces out of bounds with Waratah for company, but it was one blue jumper with about 5 Waratah jumpers around him.
Well run by Anthony Mankara too, Rob. Waratah's have kicked 16 goals and Anthony Mankara has got 1.
Yep.
So it's a bit unusual, but however.
Kirby to continue in ruck for Waratah. Wins another tap. Smith to East. Around the corner. Well, the 2 Waratah's players, I think Gleeson wasn't sure what Collis was going to do then and just put him off a little bit. Arbon out wide to Domick. Goes over his head. traps it one-handed, pushes off his opponent. Oh, Carroll does well to get a hand onto it and then runs onto the footy, scoops it up, does Brodie Carroll, in towards centre half forward, Hutt's in front, well spoiled away by White, play on the call, comes to Cassidy, sweeps the handball over the top, unselfish to McKenzie, back to Carroll, runs to 30 metres, and a great goal by Waratah. Unselfish football inside the forward 50. Tars get their 17th. And they creep up to a 100-point lead. It's now to 98, 17-15 to 2-7.
Yes, well, they've still got their foot on the gas. There's no doubt about that. They, you think they would have eased off a little bit in the last quarter, but obviously got the words of their coaching staff echoing in the ear to keep going. A lovely goal for Carroll. That was his first for the game as well.
Well, I think it's obviously early in the season, but seeing some of these big scores with these power clubs, Gray, that percentage for those double chances, if we think that Waratah, Nightcliff, Southern Districts and St Mary's are the big four, maybe Buffs, but maybe they're the big four. If you're trying to get those double chances, percentage could come into it. So when you do get an opportunity like you are, when you've got a team that's a bit down, a bit undermanned, it's worthwhile just push on.
Adding to the scoreboard.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Here come Wanderers, though. They might get a chance to goal here. McMurray approached by Dylan Collis. So Tars, the intensity does continue, although the handball missed its target. Oh, look at that, though. Cleese wrapped up by two red jumpers. And one of those players, it was Tom Spence.
Yes, you were saying about Waratahs. They've certainly meant business right from the first bounce. It was a different looking Waratahs. Obviously the build-up during the week was just a game we must win, and they've certainly done that.
Clever tap by Kirby, almost a backhander. Reynolds was involved. Comes outside defensive 50. Carlin to Cassidy, whistle goes. It's got to come back. There's a bit of a push and shove inside attacking 50 there by a few players. Thorne involved. So Dan O'Dwyer. It's going to be an O'Dwyer free kick, I think. So it's got to come back towards centre half back for Waratah.
So how can Waratahs improve from here, Rob? Do you think that they've got to get Big Darcy Hope back up forward? You would think, but apart from that, there doesn't seem to be too many vacancies.
No, I've got Ed Morris, Turnbull, so it's just rotating maybe 4 or 5 players. But from what we've seen today, look at that pass from Collis onto the chest of Magro. Yeah. Will Collis, of course, might be another one. And then Ryan Clark, they're talking about coming from the Sydney Swans as well into that midfield. So it's a real luxury.
All of a sudden, they're going to be rotating fairly regularly off the bench, I think, with their best side, their very best side.
Magro for his 6th goal, right on 50, stabs at it. He's a wonderful kick, isn't he? 6 goals to Jaden Magro. Points further up the ground to his skipper Dylan Collis, who hit him with a beautiful pass right between the eyes to set up that goal. And the margin is now 104, 18-15, 123 to 2-7-19. And
he's evened up his stats, 6 goals and 6 behinds.
Big day.
So 36 points, he kicked more than Wanderers.
So it takes him to...
This was a beautiful foot pass. He lined him up, saw where he was. Thank you. There you go, young Magro. You can have that.
Yeah.
Hit him right on the sternum.
Top skills.
Which, for those who may not know, is the bone above the heart. Beautiful kick. That's what you'd like to see, Rob. You'd love to see the skill to the game.
So according to the Play HQ, Men's Premier Division stats, he moves to within 1 goal of Jackson Calder with 15. Lovely tap. Down to Pulling. They go forward again. Out comes O'Sullivan, who takes a mark between the eyes in the left forward pocket, 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. He's been quiet for a couple of quarters. Kicked 2 in the first, 1 in the second. And he's lining up for goal number 4.
Yes, a man with the long legs. He should be able to kick long too, you'd think. He's right on. He kicked right on 50. No, I wonder he kicked from about 40. 45 perhaps. Certainly looked like a goal kicker.
And the goal umpire doesn't move. It is another one to Waratah. This is an absolute belting. Tars go to 19-15, 129. Wanderers 2-7-19. And in just 9 minutes of the final quarter, it's Waratah kicked 4 goals to nothing.
Yes, not good signs for Wanderers. The effort has been there, as you said earlier, but it certainly isn't there now. Waratah's doing what they like. And as I said earlier too, it's what good sides are supposed to do. And that's Berry, an opposition side that may be down a bit. Just looking at Big Kirby there, he doesn't look tired at all.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? He's,
hands on hips. Has he rucked the whole game?
Whole game. I can't think of a ruck contest he hasn't been in. He charges into another one with the backhand over the top, down to his teammate, and away they go up forward again. Magro's got a couple to beat. One grab, two! Jaden Magro has beaten two Wanderers players with that wonderful tap. Kirby's just toying with him in the middle.
He's having a day out, isn't he?
Held his opponent off, just flipped it backwards to the teammate running past. Inside 50 it went. And Magro, not a big man by any means, but read the ball superbly from directly in front for goal number 7. 7-6, we reckon.
If he kicks this one.
If he kicks this one.
The left foot.
Oh, he's made the goal umpo work, but I think he squeezed it through. He waits. He's not 100% sure. He's got it. Jaden Magro has 7. Waratah have 20.
Gee, if you ever want to watch a game of football, you'd watch that with Big Kirby, the tap to his running player. Long ball into the forward line. Great mark there by, in fact, we're going to see it now on the replay. Back over his head to the running player there in... Can't get him 26 of them.
Yeah, Dom Booth, who was superb.
He's gone long to Magro. Magro 2 grabs. There's the first one. There's the second one. So he's got 7, and Waratahs now have kicked 20.
Yeah, so Preston Patrick, who played the third quarter in the forward line, has gone into defence, but just had no body on Magro, so he was able to read the flight. No body pressure. The bigger man, White, was dropping back, and away goes Kirby. He bombs one long. On the bounce, there's some holding going on and some relief, some respite. Finally for Wanderers with a free kick at half back to Davidson.
Yes, a collective sigh of relief there from the coach's box, I would say.
To McMurray. Oh, the handball to Patrick. Dear, oh dear.
There's a team down on confidence, Rob.
Yep.
Going to be a bit of a shake-up during the week, I'd say. They're going to have to have a good hard look at themselves, Wanderers.
Kirby and Fuller. Fuller's backhand. Carlin. Saltalamakia. Collis, kick smothered. Smith. A couple of headbands collide there. Darcy Reid was there involved. Pulling was good. It's been solid as well. Now it comes to Kirby. He steps around his opponent, throws it on the right boot. High kick. Right to the teeth of goal. Munkara is there, so's White.
Almost kicked a goal.
He did. White took it. Out to McMurray.
Just thinking, Rob, Kirby's hands must be burnt now with leather poisoning.
Sore fist, wouldn't he?
Which is a terrible thing to get in football, of course. Here's a go for Munkara.
On the left boot, Munkara gets his second. Finally it comes for Anthony Munkara. 21st for Waratah. Their 6th of the final quarter with only 12 minutes played. It could be anything, Gray. It could be anything. 21-15, 141 to 2-7-19.
Reminds me of a game I saw in Northern Victoria many years ago. Rob, a team called Neil kicked 48-23 and the opposition kicked 1-1. It's a very similar situation here.
It's ironic, isn't it, that the team called Neil kicked all those goals? Yeah.
NHILL, yeah. Amazing. And there's Munkara swinging onto his left foot, and he says, I might join this goal-kicking party just for no reason at all. So 116 points. In fact, it's more than that.
122
points. Good heavens.
It was only 18 at quarter time.
Yes, they've kicked 17 goals to 1 since quarter time.
Yeah, in fact, there's scoreless Wanderers to the Michael Long centre end so far in this game. They didn't score in the second quarter, haven't scored in the last quarter to that end. They might score now. Domick. Fake the handball and then kicks to the top of the goal square. Oh, it's got the carry. It's going to run to Brenton Motlop, who soccers off the ground but doesn't make enough contact. And it skews away to the left and trickles over for the first score at that end in the match. Wanderers Waratah waste no time to bring it back into play. And the mark's taken by Arnold Kirby in the middle. Handballs off to teammate Carlin. Out to Reid. 60 from goal. Reid's turn to bury it down the throat of Magro. Good spoil away this time by Preston Patrick. Handball looped back in the Patrick direction, missed the target. Reid sends it back in towards Magro. Gets to Carlin first, back to Reid. right half forward, kicks to Hutt. Spoiled away by White. He throws it on the boot, kicks it out towards right half back. Big fly from behind. Big spoil came from pulling, and it goes out of bounds.
Just on those big scores too, someone told me last night, Rob, that there was a game in Adelaide, one of the suburban comps, where a team kicked 93 goals. How you could do that in 4 quarters? Fortunately for us, it's not quite that bad here.
I wouldn't think there'd be enough time, would you? And just be into the middle, down to the goal square, into the middle, down to the goal square.
Unbelievable.
Reynolds. So free kick here as Carlin is told to give it back to Wanderers across half back.
Just while there's a bit of a break too, Rob, don't forget this is AFL&T's coverage of the round 5 game of the 23-24 season between Wanderers and Waratahs, and we're live from TIO Stadium in Darwin.
To cap it off, Gray, I haven't seen Mitchell Taylor for a while. It's Henry White down there at full back, so hopefully their captain and probably their best player.
He's not injured.
Yeah. Boundary thrown at right half forward for Waratah. They've kicked 6 goals to nothing in this, or 6 goals to a behind in this last quarter. And the margin is 121 points. Kirby won the tap. Clee. Kick is on the bounce and out of bounds before Brenton Motlop could receive it from Jerome Motlop. And so there'll be a boundary throw in as Dan O'Dwyer comes off for a rest for his first game of the year in the red and white colours this season. Premiership player back in March. Tapped by Arnold Kirby. Jerome Motlop taken by a couple. Boys now to half forward through East. Again outnumbered, but out to the back of the pack. Reaching over the top there, or to the side was Hoare. Spoiled away from McLean. Still going is Hoare. He's got Reid if he can get it to him. He paddles it along the deck and does. Reid does well to go backwards. Clark looking for Carlin. Chopped off by Smith. So Smith for Wanderers. He turns it over straight back down the throat of Will Clark, who marks on defensive 50.
Yeah, wearing Michael Long's number edition, number 13.
Oh, Collis had to be brave there. He got hands to it. Wanderers coming the other way. King marks in the middle. Well held up by Dom Booth. And Marley King just has to wait. Sends it out towards left half back where Preston Patrick. He's a promising player.
Yes, he looks like he's got the skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Off to Davidson. Oh, brilliant defence though by Waratah. It's O'Sullivan. And he's going to get a free kick for over the shoulder. So that is desperation. When you're a team leading by 121 points and you're still fighting that hard, that's a good sign, I reckon. Great.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier, Rob. They haven't taken their foot off the pedal at all. In fact, they've probably increased.
Carroll beats Marshall to the footy.
Pressure.
Arbon. Corralled. Oh, bounces off the head of poor old Henry White.
Took his eye off the ball. Had the ball before acceptances, as they say.
Yeah, he knew that Marley King was behind him. He could have got the handball to it, but yep.
And he got falconed as a result. So, and the football on the old face does sting a bit too, Rob.
Maybe not so much in Darwin, but maybe in the cool Ballarat or somewhere like that.
But certainly most of the pain being felt by Wanderers.
Fuller finally beats Kirby, but Kirby then won the crumb at ground level. Missed Mackenzie. Through the hands there of Reynolds. The Booth, in fact, it was. Wanderers go forward. Lovely intercept. Well read by Dylan Collis. Beat Fuller to the footy.
He would be in their best 5 players.
Yep.
Too. The skipper, the new skipper.
Preston Patrick. Good tackle on Magro. Play on the call. Comes to Matthew Motlop. Oh, that's a head-high tackle. That must be a free kick, and it is. Pretty crude on a Waratah by Matthew Motlop. At least showing some intent, I guess, if nothing else. He was still charging in, but it was pretty crude. And he's been reported, I think, and I think that's probably right. He had his head over the footy, and I think we saw this last night. I think Tash Medbury made the comment. You very rarely see the book come out in footy matches these days. We've seen it twice in 2 days.
That's right, and both of them Motlops. Stephen Motlop.
Yep.
Being reported for point last night.
Yep, but that was unfortunately for Preston Patrick, because he's been one of the bright lights for Wanderers, and probably in his desperation he wanted to make a contest, but rightly so, the rules of the game now protect the player going for the ball. He had his head down over the footy, as he's entitled to, and just a little bit too exuberant. So Waratah kicks in the Magro direction. Oh, he stretched, couldn't quite get it. In fact, sorry, it wasn't Preston Patrick, of course, it was Motlop. Has been reported. Marley King to Domick. There's Preston Patrick sliding by, wanting a handball. He won't get it. Stretching for the ball was Smith, didn't come to him. Excellent tackling again. It was Booth. Kick out wide to King. Who's he got though?
Not too many options. And one in the middle there, and he's found him.
Yeah, good kick. Arbon's kick, though, is going to be turned over, is it? No, well played by Motlop. Or Cabillo it was, in fact. Cabillo tapped it along in front, but now it's turned over to Tars in towards the pocket. Tyson McKenzie can't get there for the Red and Whites, and it goes out of bounds. Left half forward.
20 minutes gone. 121 points Waratah lead, so the agony is almost over for Wanderers. 21 goals to 2.
Kirby and Fuller in ruck. Nullify each other. Nice give to Smith. Smith's high kick into the middle of TIO Stadium. Good contest. Dwyer's got about 3 to beat. Just stands tall in the middle of them all. Booth couldn't control the footy. Comes up to Boys. He sends it to Domick. He steps around and then kicks the ball into the pocket. Mark dropped there by the Tars player in Brock Reynolds. He gets support pretty quickly though. His teammate is stripped of the footy in Spence. Still fighting hard was Reynolds. Here's a chance maybe for Wanderers. Kick misses its target. And East looks backwards. Bit of disappointment. And it goes through for a behind. So Wanderers get a score. It's a minor.
That's been one issue too, Rob. You've mentioned that a few times. The kick misses a target.
Yeah.
With Wanderers, that's been a regular occurrence.
They might get a late goal, but there once more on the half volley. Handball back to McLean. Oh, the kick was smothered, but it ricochets back, and Braden McLean gets Wanderers' 3rd goal. Well, that's a little bit of good fortune, but well deserved by McLean. He's tried hard all day, and Wanderers do get their 1st goal of the last quarter and bring the margin back to 114 points.
Yes, an unusual one, a rebounder that landed back in his lap. And on his 2nd shot, he made no mistake as we watched the replay there. A nice short pass there by Smith. Haven't seen much of him today. He's a very good player, young Austin. Whether he's copped an injury early in the game, but here's the rebound. Goes straight back to Braden, runs into an open goal. Thank you very much. One of his more unusual goals he would have scored in his career, I'd say.
Yep. So McLean has 1, Clee has 1, King has 1. But the only thing you can say on their team sheet is it's all those players are one after the other in the team sheet.
Yes, in sequence.
In sequence, exactly.
Nice even spread of numbers there, number 24, 26 and 28.
Kirby taps only as far as a Wanderers player, and then Thorne bangs it on the left boot, sends the blue and golds back inside. McLean gets a little handball across to East, and from 40 metres, so they have 2 in a minute. No, it thuds into the goalpost to the left, a behind only. So a late flurry from Wanderers. They go to 3-10-28 to 21-15, 141. As the Tars bring it out of defence pretty quickly. Through a chain of handballs with Hoare, who will now kick the ball long in the O'Sullivan direction. Hutt is at the back. He gets met heavily by Cabillo, who taps it cleverly to Thorne, who goes backwards by hand to James. Now it comes to White, and White's kick is up towards the wing, reaching over the top. Unable to take it was Motlop, and then buries Dylan Collis into the ground. Not too much malice. Cassidy. Magro has got it on the chest again. Geez, they look for him, and he's in front all the time with a metre or so to spare on his hapless defender.
The line-up here for number 8.
Poor old Preston Patrick is the one on the mark.
How far out do you think, Rob? About 40?
Yeah.
With the trusted left foot again, the drop punt.
Yeah. Distance not a problem. The best kick in the competition, I reckon. Stabs at it, and he hooked it a little bit, but I think he's still got it. 8 goals to Jaden Magro. It takes him to 17 for the season, one more than Jackson Calder.
Yes, now the leading goal kicker, the boy from Perth in Western Australia. And that stretches their margin again to 119 points.
7 goals, 4 in the first term, 5 in the second, 6 in the third, and now 7 goals in the last quarter. So
not a big man for a spearhead, is he? But he's certainly mobile.
Yep.
Can take a mark, and as you said, that lovely left foot kick. He can score from anywhere, virtually.
He's got tall players around him. Hutt at full forward is tall. Kara's reasonably tall, around the 6'1", 6'2" mark. McKenzie has been a good taller target as well.
But this is the best man on the ground, Big Kirby. Will he win another tap out?
Yep. Pulling East. Collis bumped in the side there by Boys. A rare forward thrust by Wanderers. Thorne comes flying out. Saltalamakia there, number 40 for Waratah. Bursting off half-back was Gleeson. He was good to Waratah. Waratah out to left half-back. Domick. He's up against Reed. Reed kicks up towards half-forward.
Nice kick.
O'Sullivan marks in front of Boys. It's James, in fact, it was. Inboarder comes to Pulling. Pulling can poke the pass in the Magro direction again. He missed that one. Preston Patrick got the crumb. Gives it to his teammate who drops it. That was Sam Davidson. Patrick follows up. Pulling. Chips the ball cleverly to Carling. He's 70 from goal, plays on quickly, wants Magro once more, gets the spill, handball over the top unselfishly. Hutt gives it back for 10 to Magro. Is it 10 or 9?
I think that's 9.
9, I'm too excited. But that was very unselfish by Hutt because he was the one closer to goal. He waited for Magro to slide past.
Yes.
And gave him goal number 9.
Unselfish play twice there, once from Magro and one from his teammate, but it was Magro who goes into the scorebook. He signals to his teammates up the ground. Thank you very much. Is there time for him to kick 10?
I've got him as 10.
I've got 9, but
okay.
Maybe 2.
Maybe I haven't.
23 goals?
Yep.
Yeah.
9.
Maybe I've missed 1. But is there time to make sure he kicks 10? Maybe there's a minute or so left, you'd think?
Well, they're going to get a chance here. Carroll.
Where is he?
Whistle's gone. He won't get the chance. Although is Magro calling for the free kick? Someone's getting a free kick down there. Who is it? It's going to be O'Sullivan. It is a red and white free kick. And so O'Sullivan it is who'll line up for his 5th goal. What have you got, Carroll there? Carroll's got 1.
Mankara 2. Hutt 3. Carlin 1. O'Sullivan.
He's coming in. O'Sullivan comes in for goal number 5 for a 131-point win. He's away to the right-hand side, and it's a behind only. So Waratah finish a massive tally of 23-16, 154 to 310-28. What a performance by the Tars. 9 goals to Magro, 4 goals to O'Sullivan, 3 goals to Hutt, 2 goals to Munkara, 2 goals to McKenzie, singles to Brodie Carroll, Scott Carlin and Arnold Kirby, and for Wanderers, their 3 goals were McLean, Clee and King.
Yes, that game was circa 22-23 when Waratah won their premiership. Very good with their foot skills, very good getting numbers around the ball, and also they had the target up forward in the Magro, and of course the ruckman Kirby, who had a real day or night out. Great win for Waratahs in round 5 of the NTFL, and this has been that coverage from round 5 of the NTFL at TIO Stadium. We'll see you all next week.